What's going on, everybody? Welcome to our 2025 NFL Senior Bowl live stream. This has been an annual tradition for both me and Tad. In case you're catching us for the first time, I'm one half of the side guys. I'm on the side, joined as always by my good friend, my good buddy, the other half of the side guys, with Tad the side. And Tad, this sort of, kicks off that official, I know we still have the Super Bowl next weekend, but it's this is sort of like the kickoff for draft season is here. People are thinking about the off season now. They're figuring out their draft plans. In about a month, we're going to have the combine. So it's this is sort of like that kickoff. That's all right, let's get heavy into draft stuff. I know you get super excited when we're doing this live stream.
This is the equivalent of the day after Thanksgiving when you see a bunch of Christmas decorations and you're like, okay, now is the time. Now we can start getting in the spirit of things. Yes. No, this is a very interesting Senior Bowl. We've had a lot of big names because there have been Senior Bowls in the past where, it's kind of great, this guy. But I think there are a lot of promising future NFL stars on the field today.
Yeah, no, it should be a lot of fun, and we definitely invite everybody to participate with us on the comments. Now, in case you haven't caught one of our live streams before, we're not going to be actually showing the game. So, because of legal copyright issues, all that,
very much legal.
We can't show you the exact game that's going on. We're going to be talking about the game as it's going on. There will be a little bit of delay. I think Tad is a little bit more closer to the actual live game compared to myself. I think there's a little bit of a 15-second delay or so, but it's we're going to comment on some of the bigger plays. Definitely going to be talking about some of the prospects, but overall, we're going to keep it, pretty light. It's just going to be, two guys watching the game and you're joining the conversation. So, it's if you have questions on anybody going on that's in the Senior Bowl, if you got questions that are people and not the Senior Bowl, if you just have general draft questions, NFL offseason stuff, we're going to get into that for sure, but it's just going to be just a good time discussing just a myriad of NFL and college football topics here. So, guys, we invite you to participate in the comments. We're on YouTube, on the LAFB Network YouTube. We got the Twitter as well. So, just hit us up with your questions, and we're definitely ready to sort of give you all of our analysis and thoughts and comments on everything that's going on. Guys, even though you can't bet on the Senior Bowl, you fortunately can't do it. Depending on the game book that you're playing, you can. But our great partners at Underdog Fantasy, they got you covered when it comes to everything for betting. They don't got Senior Bowl bets, unfortunately, but yeah, you can get covered with, once we get to the Super Bowl next weekend, there's definitely getting a lot of bets there. We're in the NBA season going on right now. All-Star Weekend is happening in just a couple of weeks. The MLB season will be starting in just about a month and a half or so. So, guys, tons of things you can be betting on. Get into the action with the good friends at Underdog Fantasy. Use our promo code DESAI, DESAI. You can double up on your initial deposit of $10 or more, up to $500, courtesy of our good friends at Underdog Fantasy. Like I mentioned, you can bet on the NFL. One more week of that. You can bet on college basketball, both the men's and the women's. You can bet on MLB when that starts up. You can bet on the NBA. We still got a whole second half of the season there. Might be able to find some bets on where Jimmy Butler's going to get traded. We'll see about that.
How dare you?
But guys, there's a lot of things you can be betting on. Get to the action with our good friends at Underdog Fantasy. That promo code, once again, is DESAI, DESAI. You can double up on your initial deposit of $10 or more, up to $500. Thanks to our good friends at Underdog Fantasy. Website very easy to use, very user-friendly there, as well as the apps both on Apple and Android devices. So we'll be dropping that code throughout the broadcast for sure. But yeah, make sure you get into the action because there's a lot of things you could be betting on, earning yourself a good amount of money.
How do you like this? I think I'm going to take the over on here. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. How do I mess up
first say his name right.
I got his name right. I got Gilgeous right. I screw up Alexander. Anyway,
you should have just called him SGA. I don't know why you decided to be fancy.
I wanted to sound like I knew I had Gilgeous down, and then I stumbled across the finish line. Point being, over.
Pull the Daniel Jones of the open field.
Shut up. Over. That is actually exactly what happened. Over 48.5 points, rebounds, and assists. That's an easy over.
Who are they playing today?
Oh, why would you ask me that? The Kings, who are underperforming this year.
Kings have been sort of on a streak right now, but yeah, should be a competitive game. So yeah, I guess I could see that happening. Could see that happening for sure.
I'm gonna take
it. Go for it for sure. All right, Tad. So we're still waiting for actual kickoff. We got a little bit of commercials here. So as we're getting started for the Senior Bowl, who are a couple prospects that you're excited by as far as like guys that you're ready to watch when it comes to the Senior Bowl?
I think this is the guy going into this game with the most pressure. And we were kind of talking about this before we went on live of, there are some Senior Bowl rosters where you're looking at it like, ooh, we really need to talk up these guys because this is rough. Like last year's roster was not that loaded with talent, especially at the quarterback position. And I think the guy heading in today with the most pressure is without a doubt Jalen Milroe, the quarterback out of Alabama. I think
that's a good one.
I think he's still within the first round conversation. If he has a very good day today, I think he could remain in that conversation. If he throws, let's say, 1 or 2 picks, he's out. So Jalen Milroe is the guy I'm definitely keeping my eye on.
Yeah, Milroe definitely has had a very up and down practice week as well. Like there are some days where he just looked absolutely amazing. There are a lot of days where he's
had up and down career.
You can talk it back to his career, but it's like here, it's like Senior Bowl. Obviously, you're getting magnified a lot more. All the scouts are here. Some of the GMs are here as well. So it's like this is your chance to sort of make a mark for yourself. And just it's been very inconsistent all practice bowl week as well. So we'll see exactly what's going to happen once we get into the actual game for sure. When it comes to guys that I'm sort of intrigued about, I think it's more of just that whole quarterback position because, I mean, we've talked about it before, Tad, before we even got to Senior Bowl, talked about it on our podcast. This is a very shaky quarterback draft class. Like, I mean, even some of those top guys, it's like, should they be top guys with your Cam Wards and your Shadur Sanders and all those guys? So it's like, this is a very good chance for some of the guys at the Senior Bowl today. We got a lot of great names on the quarterback roster today, I guess I should say, not even tonight. We got a lot of great names that could possibly shrink that gap between the top guys and possibly them sort of, not making it as, big of a gap between taking those top guys and then taking them. And it's like, that's going to be a really big thing that as far as if they play well in today's game and then obviously leads into a successful combine, this could definitely be a situation where teams will not be as, worried about, trading up into the first round or the top of the top 10 picks or whatever to get a Cam Ward, Shadur Sanders, one of those top quarterbacks. They can sort of wait, take some other positions of needs, and then they'll be just as fine taking late round quarterbacks to possibly, be a potential future starter for them. So
what do they have to paint over in the stadium? If you look at the end zone, they're painting over obviously pre-prepared print. Who else plays there?
So the game is held in South Alabama, so the University of South Alabama, so that's where the game is played. So yeah, they do have to paint over the South Alabama, and then I'm guessing it's South Alabama in both end zones. Maybe it's Jaguars in one end zone or whatever, but yes, that is what they're painting.
Damn it, that was going to be my next question is what's their mascot? Damn it!
I know you too well.
Damn it! Oh, cool, we got the Ole Miss kicker. I've done 0 recruiting on kickers.
Is that something that you focus on every offseason?
Oh, yeah, just for the joke of you should take this kicker first overall.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, you got it in the end zone.
Remember last year you had the punter first, so I mean that was
dude. And I mean Tory Taylor lived up to the hype. Let me just say that. God, I miss Tory Taylor.
He definitely had to punt a lot more than Caleb Williams said he was going to punt in his first year. So yeah, it was a very rough season for Chicago Bears fans.
We got Gabriel with the start. It's looking like, or is it Chuck? No, it's Gabriel.
Nope, we got Dylan Gabriel out of the University of Oregon. He'll be starting first, transfer from Oklahoma as well as UCF. So, yeah, this should be very interesting. And one fun thing that we're going to do throughout the course of the broadcast here, Tad. Just give me a second here. I need to pull
up. No, you're good. You're good.
The information here.
So we have, this is interesting. So we have 2 offensive linemen right now playing for the national offense that I could see being like real steals at the NFL. That being Monheim out of USC, the center. So keep an eye on him. And also Gray Zabel, Gray Zabel, thank you. Out of North Dakota State, he is, and this guy I'm going to bring up later on, but Quinn Miners, he is the Quinn Miners of this year's Senior Bowl.
This running back class, Tad, we see some good runs here by Ollie Gordon out of Oklahoma State. But yeah, Tad, I've talked about this so many times before, but I'm very excited by this year's running back class. The Senior Bowl has a lot of great ones, but yeah, definitely as we get further in the process, I'm going to be very excited to talk about running backs his entire year.
Well, and Ollie Gordon's one of those guys, and I make this comparison kind of on purpose, but he reminds me a lot of fellow Oklahoma State alum Chuba Hubbard, where, you know, he doesn't do a whole lot great, but he does everything well. And so Ollie Gordon's one of those guys. He's going to go 3rd, 4th, 5th round, somewhere in that range. But I really, really like his ability. And I think if he goes to the right team, I'm trying to think of a good fit. Like Minnesota would be a fascinating fit for Ollie Gordon, because it doesn't seem like they're entirely confident in Aaron Jones. So like Minnesota would be interesting. I'm trying to think, maybe New York, pair him with, who's the kid out of Purdue? Tyron something?
Tyron Tracy, yeah.
Tyron Tracy, thank you. So like, yeah, Giant would be an interesting combo. Let's see. Oh, shit.
All right, Ted, let's have some fun here. So every quarterback change, we're going to test your knowledge of previous alumni from said college.
Like
so we're starting here with Dylan Gabriel from, you know, he's been to a couple of colleges.
Yeah, from where? But,
so we're going to stick with Oregon. We're going to stick with Oregon. God. I'm going to give you 45 seconds on the clock. I want you to name as many alumni. It doesn't have to be quarterback. It can be any position, but just name as many alumni from the University of Oregon as you can. So
I have such a great first name to start
ready
with.
To go?
All right. Yep.
Okay. Ready? Set. Go.
Dennis Dixon.
Okay.
LaMichael James.
Okay.
Justin Herbert.
Okay.
Oh God, who's a really good tackle? Slater went to Northwestern. Sewell. Penei Sewell.
There you go. Okay, that's 4.
Penei Sewell. Noah Alonso. Wasn't Kiko Alonso? Didn't he go there? His brother, he went there?
Kiko Alonso did. I don't know about Noah Alonso, but I'll give it to you for now.
All right, yeah. Give me both of the brothers. Patrick Chung, didn't he go there?
Yes, he did. That's 7.
Okay. Christian Gonzalez, sticking with my Patriots. Who was the shitty guy that you guys drafted? Eric Armstead?
Yes, he's there.
Yeah. DeForest Buckner was.
Yes, he went there too.
All right, yeah, that's what I thought.
10. Okay, you got 10. That is it. Time's up. You're done.
All right,
you're done.
Who is the tight end I was trying to think of that went to Baltimore?
He's a white guy. Ed Dixon, right? I thought that was
no,
the first
I did not. Okay, who am I thinking of? So it was Ed Dixon and someone else.
I swear to God, Ed Dixon was the first name you said, and that was the tight end out of Oregon.
Dennis Dixon.
Oh, Dennis Dixon. Then yeah, you missed Ed Dixon then. Sorry.
Shit. Yeah, no. Dennis is D-I-X.
Yes.
Ed is D-I-C-K. That won't get us kicked off YouTube, will it?
So just double checking the Noah Alonso, Kiko Alonso. Kiko Alonso went to the University of Oregon, but I don't see Noah Alonso here.
Damn
or he wasn't drafted. So that's one of the others. So unfortunately, that's 9 for you, Ted. Unfortunately.
I'll take it. Hey, that's pretty good.
Got to double check the Dennis Dixon one too. But yep, he was there.
All right. Well, now that I know we're playing this game, then now I need to prepare. So let me pick another school. We won't do it right now, but
no. Like I said, whenever there's a quarterback change, that's when you'll definitely have
okay. All right. So that's like our alarm sound. See, we need the Jim Cramer buttons. Ryan, get on the Jim Cramer buttons.
Oh my gosh.
I just missed the last 4 plays. I have no idea what's happening.
All right, Tab, we got a comment from the YouTube here from Joey Dale. How do you think Woody Marks does today? Now, Tad, I know you sort of looked at all the USC prospects. We're talking about the running backs here. You had a very controversial comment. So yeah, I'm curious. Let's drop it right here. Give me your thoughts on Woody Marks.
That was this is earlier than I thought we'd begin in the Woody Marks talk. Yeah, not a fan. I don't really see the Mississippi State transfer. I know a lot of USC fans are going to yell at me. He had over 1,000 yards, over 10 touchdowns with 11 on the ground on the season. And I'm not saying oh, shit, we got a trick play. Oh! Sorry, I shouldn't be doing play-by-play. That's how we get kicked off YouTube. Ollie Gordon, Scott Chooch. Wow. So how about those for odds? Speaking of our sponsors at Underdog, odds that Ollie Gordon would be the first one to pass a touchdown today.
Pretty surprising. Yeah, we got the
receiver that made that
pass there,
Dylan
Gabriel. So then he just had Ollie Gordon. Threw it into coverage too, but we had a nice catch by the Iowa State receiver, Jaden Higgins. So, I mean, very impressive play there. Yeah, we got our first touchdown on the board in the Senior Bowl off a trick play. So, I mean, yeah, this is pretty exciting stuff.
There you go.
Good
But
fighting.
anyway,
Sort of shoved him across there. So, I mean, yeah, good times.
Going back to Woody Marks, though, is I'm not saying he's a bad running back by any comparison, but he just lacks the explosiveness, the field vision. He lacks the X factor. That's like, all right, you're going to be our guy at this next level. You're going to be our pass catching guy, or you're going to be our change of pace back guy. He doesn't have that. So I really think that like Woody Marks is, I'm not saying he's going to be an instant washout in the NFL, but unless he really shows me something different today,
wow.
I'm saying he's not going to be. See, you always do this where I say he's not going to be that, and you just cling on the last couple words.
Yeah,
but he's close to it, and I'll compare it to, how about this for a throwback name? Ian Johnson. Do you remember him?
I don't. Who is Ian Johnson?
3 words, my friend. Statue of Liberty.
Ah, Boise State guy.
Boise State guy. Number 42, went to the Vikings. I was very confident. I was like, it was kind of the same thing of like, yeah, look, you were really good at the college level, yet you're just missing the X factor. And he'll hang around for a couple of years. But in terms of what I'm expecting from Woody Marks today, 5 carries, 30 or 40 yards. Like, he's just, of all the USC players out there, he's the most boring.
Interesting. So, good friend of the program. Well, I guess my good friend of the program and big contributor on LAFB Network. Don't tell me he's here. Salute to Troy. No, luckily for you, he's not here. But Alfred Rowe, Coach Rowe, we like to call him. He's a big fan of Woody Marks. Like he said that he is one of his favorite running backs to ever play at USC. And just, yeah, so it's going to be very interesting to see how the whole draft process treats him. But Tad, bonus points. I'll let everything sort of go by the wayside here. Let you sort of alleviate.
I don't like this.
Get back into the good graces of all the USC fans there. Woody is his nickname. Do you know his actual first name?
Oh, yeah. Isn't it like, because I actually saw this while I was doing research. It's like Zacharias or something like that?
No.
Nothing? Okay, shit. Is that racist? You walked me in a trap there. Hold on.
We're not going to toe that line there, but I'll give you another chance.
Wait, hold on. Let me look this up. Okay, Tyler Shock. I'm looking at my internet history right now, which is also another dangerous game.
Yes, don't read out your internet history on live here right now.
Jarrett Brown is actually the most recent search, but that tells you.
Wow.
But no, I do not know. But anyway, I don't know. What is
it? It's Joquavius.
Oh, come on. Aquarius wasn't that far off. You were acting like I was like,
you said Zacharias. Like it was.
Oh, I mean, you got the apostrophe in there. It's something.
Jaquavius Woody Marks from USC.
Can we please get out of this minefield?
Yeah, we'll stop it there for sure. But yeah, appreciate the question there, Joey Dale. Everybody has keep on dropping in your questions. USC related, UCLA related. We're definitely going to be talking about some of those prospects as well as we go out through the broadcast here. But yeah, appreciate all the questions that are coming in. Shout out to Joey Dale for that question about Woody Marks to put Tad on the spot there.
Like I thought I had at least until the second half until he was brought up.
Never count out our good listeners and commenters here on the YouTube there to sort of get you
and
really.
We have more USC talk coming. So if you're a USC fan, like, come on, talk about the guys. We're going to talk about them. Just give us a little bit of time.
Yeah, so we do have, for all of our LAFB fans out there, we do have 3 prospects from both schools, both from UCLA as well as USC. So yeah, we'll definitely get some time to speak about all those prospects as we go throughout the broadcast for sure. But Tad, I really want to ask another general question here. So overall, like not even just counting the Senior Bowl, just overall looking at the draft landscape, what do you think are the strongest and weakest positions in this year's draft class?
Oh, that's a good question. Weirdly, I think weakest is definitely quarterback. You don't have the guy, and we've already talked about this of like all this debate of like who goes first, Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders. It's kind of like, yeah, pick your late first rounder that deserves to go in the top 10 type of feel. In terms of strength, this edge rush class is crazy good. It's very deep. I mean, I'm looking at a mock draft on the NFL Network ticker right now where they have a guy like James Pierce out of Tennessee going as low as 25, 26. That's a top 15 player.
And you know what's crazy about that, Tad, is that I remember we were doing sort of like after the draft happened last year, we did a quick like preview of what's going to happen in next year's draft. And me and you both talked about James Pierce being that consensus
first
number one overall pick.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just crazy to see just, he dropped that far and just people are viewing him now as like, yeah, potential 20 round, like a 20th overall pick, maybe somewhere in that middle of the first round. So it's just like crazy that somebody is going to get that value, but just like how much things can change just from after that draft to where we are now.
He's going to be a Raven, isn't he?
God, that would be just like so Baltimore.
It's just like it's what the Ravens did. They did with Linderbaum, right? Where you and I were saying all off season long, like Linderbaum, best center, like he's going to be one of the best centers for years to come. And lo and behold, they get him at like 23, 24. Yeah, James.
But let's continue your take about just, strongest and weakest position groups.
So I would say quarterback's probably the weakest. Edge rusher's pretty strong. I'm not in love with this defensive back class, but there's a lot of depth of like it's not very top heavy in terms of like there's the guy. There's no Patrick Surtain in this class that I can see. However, there's a lot of value. And speaking of USC guys, we'll get to later on, but there's a lot of value to be found in those later rounds. But I'm glass, you're glue, whatever you say bounced off me and sticks to you. Nailed it.
Glass, really?
Yeah, you never heard it? What's the version you heard?
I've always heard it as rubber.
Oh, I am rubber, you are glue. Shit, that is what
Oh my Lord. Wow, we're opening a lot of interesting things here.
I mean, glass does bounce things back. It does,
but it reflects like light, not like words. Like
all right, I mean, either way, if I'm shooting at you with rubber or glass, you're fucked either way. But anyway, point being is serve returns. What, in your opinion, are the strongest position groups and weakest position groups?
I'll get there in a second. I need to still process this.
I mean, glass is not that much of a departure from rubber. They're both resistant materials. We need to go live more often. I'm out of practice.
I know this is pretty insane. So I'd probably say for me, probably one of the stronger groups. I've already brought it up already, but I think the running back class this year, you got a lot of good candidates at the very top, but then you also got a lot of good depth pieces later in the rounds too. I mean, I know a lot of teams don't prioritize the running back anymore. So we may see some of those top level running backs may slip into the first round, depending on where they are. We get a top 10 pick. We'll see about that. But overall, I think if you need a running back to shore up your backfield, either as a starter or as like a change of pace guy or like run by a committee sort of thing, I think this is a very good draft to get a running back, and you'll get a very productive one too. Also, like lots of different styles as far as speed guys versus power guys versus like your all-around guys. I think that's a very solid class for running back. As far as the weakest, I want to say, I probably have to agree with the quarterback position because I just don't feel strong about those top candidates. And then, the depth behind it, I think is good. I think you can get a serviceable quarterback this year. I think it's just going to take a lot of development as far as just, they're going to have to sit. They're going to have to develop behind somebody. They could eventually become starters, but even when they become starters, I don't know if they're going to be like, the next Peyton Mannings, the next, Tom Brady's, whatever it is. It's like, I don't see that in this year's draft class. So I'd have to agree with the quarterback being the weakest as well.
Well, and I'll draw. Oh, okay. Well, that would have been a sack if it wasn't an exhibition game. But I compare the running back class a lot to what I said about the defensive back class of like, I agree. I think that this running back class is very deep. I don't think it's very top heavy. Like there's other than Genty. And by the way, I have my reservations. The more I watch about Genty, the less I'm like, I don't think he's the next part. I think he'll be good, but I don't think he's like the next like can't miss running back prospect, which is why you're seeing him in like the teen range rather than like, the debate that NFL Network would love of like, you take Genty in the top 5. Notice how none of that debate is happening. So bottom line being is I think this running back class, while good, it lacks like the top end talent. So I think we're going to see a lot of like Austin Eckler's, a lot of Miles Sanders, a lot of those type of backs come
That's a bit of a hot take. Is it a hot take?
Like I think so.
I think there's a lot of talent because you got guys like Omarion Hampton, you got Caleb Johnson, you obviously got Ashton Genty, Ollie Gordon's playing pretty well the Senior Bowl practice as well. So it's like we're still
in terms of
all takes that we're going to give on live stream today, this is still very early. Like, I mean, we're still going to watch a lot of tape. We still got the combine, still got pro day. So it's like our takes may change. So it's like, but I stand by that. I think that's a bit of a hot take. I like the running back classes here.
And in terms of, again, it's well, I'm not so sure that was a fumble, but Yeah, with the running back class, it's like I said. Perfect guy you just named is Armarian Hampton out of UNC.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's a very good running back. Is he really going to be that much of a difference maker at the next level? Like, I just think you have a lot of great contributors. You have a bunch of great, kind of guys who will be change of pace, guys who you put in for the screenplay. But I don't, again, even, and this is with Genty included, I don't see the love for it with the running back class this year.
That's fair. That's fair. You're entitled to your own opinion there. But yeah, looks like we have a turnover being reviewed. But yeah, definitely by the looks of it, Aeneas Smith. Oh, wow. They're giving the ball to the defense. But Aeneas Smith, it looked like he had his knee down when he fumbled it. So that was very interesting.
Well, also, I know it was just 2 passes, but Riley Leonard's looking surprisingly good because, that dude needs a good – if you ask me who needs to perform today, Riley Leonard is at the top of the list because after, his bowl game appearances, his draft stock went from could be a 3rd, 4th, maybe like Spencer Rattler type. And then after the bowl games, just plummeted. So Riley Leonard is probably facing the most pressure today.
All right, Ted, ready to play our game again? There got a quarterback change. We had the other team.
I saw
here,
you on
so
your phone.
I saw you
on your phone. God damn it. Okay.
You brought up Riley Leonard. We're at a commercial break here right now. So Riley Leonard obviously went to the University of Notre Dame. So once again, you got 45 seconds to name as many alumni from the University of Notre Dame. You let me know when you're good to go. I'm not going to give you that much time.
Wake up, Cat. All right, fine.
Oh, I acknowledge a Notre Dame alumni.
He's
for sure.
At 4 years old, he's like, wait, that team's supposed to be good?
Yeah. All right.
Both offense and defense, correct?
All players, yes.
Okay. I love this name I'm going to start with. You ready?
Okay. Ready, set, go.
Manti Te'o.
Nice.
Kyle Rudolph.
Nice. Okay.
Mel Kiper, you need to retire. Jimmy Clausen.
Good one.
Golden Tate.
Golden Tate's a great one.
Oh shit. See, here's where sorry. Oh, Quinn Nelson. All-time great Colt.
Quinn Nelson, there you go.
Quinn Nelson. Shit, did they have another good tight end there for a bit?
One that was just drafted, yes.
Oh my God. Matthew Mayer?
No, Michael Mayer, but I'll go that
Michael Mayer. Thank you. Michael Mayer. Matthew Mayer. Thank you. Oh God. Deshaun Elliott.
Deshaun Elliott, there's one, yes.
I almost said who's Deshaun Goldson?
He's a safety for the Niners.
Okay. Maybe that's who I was thinking of. Fact check me on that. Shit, there's a corner I feel like I'm forgetting.
Time's up.
Damn it. There's another defensive lineman.
I'll double check Deshaun Elliott, but
it's either Deshaun Elliott or Deshaun Goldson, one of them.
You got 6 for sure. But let's double check Deshaun Elliott.
Help me. Oh God, this is a good Chauncey Talese question. So there was a Notre Dame Justin Tuck. Fuck.
There is no Deshaun Elliott. So yeah, I think you might have been thinking about Deshaun Goldson, but I don't think he didn't go to Notre Dame either. So yeah, unfortunately that is 6 for you.
We're having a Mandela effect. Okay. But no, Justin Tuck is the guy that entire time I was like, I remember it with the face mask and everything. I was like, damn it.
Did Justin Tuck go to Notre Dame? That's the one I got to check.
He did.
He did? Yep, you're right. You got that one, but that's after the fact, so that does not count for
your total. What was the defensive tackle? Deshaun, Overhand or something? Was there a defensive tackle who went there who stuck around the league for a couple of years? He was a Bear for a while. Eddie Goldman? Is that who I'm thinking of?
Eddie Goldman did go to Notre Dame, I believe. Yeah.
Damn it.
No, he didn't. Wait, Eddie Goldman went to a smaller school? I want to say he went to Delaware or Minnesota or something like that.
Yeah, there were some Notre Dame defensive tackles.
But yeah, you missed Joe Alt.
Oh, yeah, I did. Chargers suck.
Wow. Say that on the live.
Get people up here to argue with me. Yes, exactly.
Oh my gosh, that is good. That is real good for sure. All right, so yeah, we got the Senior Bowl going on. We're still only at one score. We had the turnover that just happened. So yeah, Dylan Gabriel and the national team is back on offense. What are your overall thoughts about Dylan Gabriel? Because I remember you had a little bit of a take on him before we started. So of course I got to bring it up here.
He is Charles Barkley terrible.
Wow. Okay, you think he's that bad?
Yes, he can put zero zip on the ball. And it was funny, actually, because I was legitimately laughing watching Gabriel's tape because it reminded me of a comment we got last year when we did our first round draft live stream. And I don't know if you'll remember this, but someone commented after the Broncos took Bo Nix. They were just like, I've never seen a weaker arm than Bo Nix. And I highlighted that comment because I was like, what the hell are you watching? Like, that was Bo Nix's biggest plus was his cannon arm. We saw it in his rookie season as well. That dude put some zip on the ball. That same comment comes around this year of like, I've never seen a weaker arm than Dylan Gabriel. Yeah, neither have I. That dude puts zero zip on. I mean, you're looking at it right now, not to give too much of a play-by-play because I want this stream to keep going. But like right there of like, put some zip into the ball between two defenders, get there. Instead, he kind of floats it. It's like, go up and get it. And no, I think Gabriel is going to be one of the fastest busts out of the NFL and in this quarterback class.
Very
I'm not even going to bother watching any more of his tape for the rest of the spring.
Wow. Okay, that's a bit of a take there for sure. I do agree with you that there's a lot that he needs to work on, but I feel like the arm strength is not one of them. I saw a good zip on the ball based on the tape that I was watching.
Arm strength, arm usage is different. He has the strength to do it. He just doesn't utilize it properly.
I think compared to lots of the other quarterbacks in the draft class, like lots of the guys that are going to go in the later rounds, I think he has a lot stronger of an arm and he's got that more velocity compared to some of those guys. So I think that's why he's sort of being targeted, going to be targeted a lot earlier compared to some of those other guys. So it's like, yeah, I saw a lot of, quarterback story like moon balls and just a lot of deep throw accuracy as far as like just, finesse throws as opposed to like those power throws that you may see from like, your Brett Favre's or your, Peyton Manning's or whatever. It's like those sorts of throws where it's like tight windows, they can fit it in there. Whereas like Gabriel, I saw some of that on the tape that I was watching. But yeah, compared to lots of the other quarterbacks in the draft class, I do like him a lot better. But yeah, I think the biggest thing that's going to come down to it is just he's undersized. And when you're undersized, then you got to be like a Kyler Murray, then or Russell Wilson.
You have to have that X factor. A little bit. It's what I was saying earlier with the running backs. You got to have that X factor. I feel like I'm in a Deadpool 2 right now. Keep doing this, but yes, no, sorry, I'll let you keep going. But exactly that. Like, I think Gabriel, I see why people see the promise in him. He just doesn't have the it factor where I'm like, you're the dude. And this has always been one of my lifelong dreams. But if I was an NFL GM, I'd take that little like cool, like magnetic strip and just throw it in the trash.
Wow.
I've always wanted to do that. Anyway, keep going with your Dylan Gabriel analysis.
No, I mean, pretty much you sort of hit a lot of the things on the head there. So it's just like, yeah, when you're an undersized quarterback, you either need to be then just that much more on top of just like your position and understanding defenses and sort of like that pre-snap and post-snap recognition sort of thing, or you need to be then a dynamic athlete, like I said, like a Kyler Murray then, where it's like you can get out of the pocket and you can be a danger with the ball in your hands as a runner. But I don't see that either of those sort of facets. I don't see that with Dylan Gabriel. So it's like he definitely has a lot of work to do. But yeah, I mean, just coming into the league as a lefty quarterback, I mean, I wonder if that's going to sort of set him as sort of like being a little bit behind the 8 ball as well. But just, yeah, he's going to have a lot of work that he needs to he's going to have to put in a lot of work. That's what I'm sort of looking for there during this draft season here to make sure that he could sort of be one of those top quarterbacks taken once we get to the draft at the end of April there. So, yeah.
I just like came upon a personal epiphany. Do you want to know the movie scene where that became a dream of mine with the magnetic strips? And this will be no shock to you, but it's the scene in Moneyball when Billy Beane like flips it up and he's like, Jeremy Giambi. He's like, we're getting Jeremy. And they're like, wait, what the fuck? And then he like throws up like Hattenberg. We're getting Hattenberg. It just seemed like so much fun, just like flipping them behind you.
The Hatterberg was an interesting one because he actually had to write it in and then he threw the magnet on. So that one was like, even like, whoa,
that's
really?
A good question. All right. So it's Jeremy Giambi, Hatterberg. Who was the third player he threw up there? Because I have no recollection of that.
Those are the only two. When it came to that.
No. He threw up 3. I remember that.
Probably David Justice then, I think, was the other.
Oh, you're right. That is who it was. You're right.
Because they were like, yeah, he's old and like he's past his prime. And they're like, if this was 5 years ago, then yeah, 100%. But he's not the same guy anymore, and all that stuff. So yeah, it was David Justice.
Yeah. Well, good for the Sacramento A's. I'm sorry.
Can't believe you went in that direction. But yeah, it is a little disappointing for sure. A little bit disappointing for sure.
In all seriousness, though, are they going to be known as the Sacramento A's, or are they sticking with like Oakland A's?
So
going to be there for like 2
I don't
seasons,
think anybody's going to call them the Sacramento
A's,
A's, but
be the A's.
Based on what I'm seeing, a lot of the time is like, yeah, they're just going to be called the A's. But I will say though, is that on their patch on their jersey sleeve, they replaced the elephant, and now it's a picture. It's a picture of the bridge that's like famous in Sacramento. So it's like that's on the sleeve now. So it's like they're kind of committing to Sacramento, but yeah, their jerseys are going to be Athletics too. It's not going to say Oakland anymore. So it's like the few jerseys that they had that said Oakland are all going to say Athletics now. But as far as like a direct reference to being the Sacramento A's or Athletics, I don't think that's going to happen because they're only going to be there for 3 years. So it's like, but we'll see what exactly is going to happen once the season starts.
Too. Yeah, man, the elephant was like the coolest part of your whole persona. Like, damn, that sucks.
All right, Tad, I'm going to give you a chance to speak about your guy because he's making some plays here.
Let's do it.
Making some plays here. That is the wide receiver, Jack Besh, out of TCU. So, I mean, yeah, what do you love about this guy? And just what do you think his draft round projection will be?
All right, so my totally unbiased opinion while I say this. No, I think Jack Besh is, well, first off, thoughts out to Jack Besh, because in case you did not know, his brother was actually one of the victims in the New Orleans attack on New Year's Eve. But I mean, I've been saying this, like, Besh became one of my favorite TCU Horned Frogs over the course of this very turbulent season for TCU. But Besh was like one of the sole bright spots of like every time he got the ball, I was just like, thank you. And I think it's funny because I was cracking up actually at this last night, Amir, because I knew you'd make fun of me for this, but I was like, all right. My initial comparison to Jack Besh was Mark Andrews. And then I was like, no, I knew it. Yeah, I was like, no, Amir's going to scoff at that. So I was like, all right, let's tone it down. Dallas Goedert. Like, okay, that's a little closer. But then, even then, I was like, hey, he still may make fun of me for that. Like, all right, what's a good comparison? Like, who had a good year this year? Where I'm like, all right, still. And finally, I was like, Trey McBride. But here's the thing. They're all basically the same player. Like, their play style is all basically the same thing. And that's where Besh has the most value, is because depending on what site you go to, whether it be LSU, where he came over from TCU from, or TCU's website, you'll see him either as a tight end, a receiver, or what they call an H receiver, where basically you just line up wherever the hell we need you, kind of like a Mike Juszczyk type of situation. Here's the thing: he can succeed at any. Isn't that how you say it? Kyle Juszczyk. Sorry, Kyle Juszczyk. Kyle Juszczyk. Sorry, Kyle. But point being is, going back to Jack Besh, is like this guy, I think, is more slotted to be kind of like a hybrid tight end type. Think of like a Dalton Kincaid, or I'm not comparing their play styles, but Brock Bowers type, where technically they're tight end.
Okay.
Hold on, I'm not saying in terms of play style or anything, but just in terms of like,
you speak about Jack Besh, because you're just overreacting.
I am not overreacting. That's what I'm saying. Is I was trying to find
gosh.
Trey McBride expectations in terms of productivity. However, all I'm saying is where he lines up on the field is in terms of a, Brock Bowers type, where sure, Brock Bowers is a tight end, but the dude nearly finished, or I think I haven't looked at the final numbers, but he and Malik Neighbors were neck and neck all season for that rookie record. And Malik Neighbors is a true number one receiver. Brock Bowers is a tight end. So that's that's how I'm saying is where the Besh comparison comes in, of like, Besh, I think, it depends what team drafts him. He's either going to be a tight end or a slot receiver, but either way, he's an all-around Swiss Army knife that, he is my draft darling. He is going to be the draft steal of the year. He is going to be the next Trey McBride, the next Dallas Goedert. Mark it.
I will mark it. I definitely will mark
39 minutes, 2025. Mark it.
Just short of the 39-minute mark for sure. Oh boy, I should not have let you speak about Jack Besh for sure. Because I went longer than it needed.
I was saying until the second quarter, but you were the one that brought it on early. Oh, come on, Besh. Sorry.
Of course.
No, that was a shit throw by Riley Leonard, because he has no deep touch whatsoever. That's actually
gosh.
Who's on the coverage? Anyway, what are your thoughts on Jack Besh?
I've been watching that speak about Jack Besh yet.
Your favorite TCU prospect of this offseason?
I haven't gotten into the TCU tape just yet.
It's
I still got a lot of work to do.
That should maybe Savion Williams. That's the only two people you need to worry about. And maybe Savion. Even Savion's like, maybe.
Really? Not as high on Savion Williams?
I mean, I think he's a good player. Don't get me wrong. I like him a lot. But in terms of like, will he make a good pro? Yeah.
All right. So
we just lost our last 10 viewers on that comment.
So that'll end the first quarter here. So you got the national team over the American team right now, leading 8-0. And so yeah, we'll see how the rest of the game goes. But based on past track history, Tad, the games have never been all that exciting. So yeah, that's why we're definitely going to dive into other aspects of the NFL draft, the NFL. All those things. So yeah, while we're here, Tad, and we have sort of a little bit of a commercial break here. Let's talk about some of those USC and UCLA prospects here. So, we talked about, obviously, Woody Marks already, gave your thoughts there. But what do you think about some of the other prospects that we have in today's game? We got Jalen Smith, the defensive back out of USC, as well as Jonah Mannheim, the offensive lineman out of USC as well. So what do you think about either of those guys?
So Jalen Smith is, there's a lot to talk about here because I'll be interested to see, first off, where he gets drafted in terms of like what round. Because there are a lot of good physical traits there to like about him, especially, this is a crazy fact I learned while I was doing my research. He played 3 positions on the same team in high school. Like I said, this dude's just a freakishly good athlete. The problem is like his man-to-man coverage. So he played more safety at USC. Okay. His main coverage skills aren't the best, which you expect from a safety, but he also lacks like the top end speed with this, where you want to see like an all-star safety where it's like, oh shit, I blew that coverage. Let me recover there. That's what the best safeties do, right? They recognize their mistake and they that's Ed Reed got like 80% of his interceptions from that of like, oh, I screwed up. Let me grab it now. He doesn't have the speed to make that happen. So I think he has a very good future as like an NFL backup. Like he'll go from team to team being like, hey, we got our nickel corner. We're good to go here. So I think that Smith is an interesting prospect to watch out for day 3. Now, the guy I really like is Mannheim.
Okay.
Am I saying that right? I think he is an absolute doorstop at center for the next decade to come for whoever drafts him. And I will say this, I am so confident because he does nothing incredibly well, but he does everything well. Like the entire time I was watching the tape, it was funny because I hit this epiphany about halfway through watching his tape because the entire time I'm just doing this. But there was nothing that made me go like, oh, that was terrible. Oh, that was great. The entire time I was like, yeah, he's just doing his job. And so I think that this is a very solid center, a perfect day 3 prospect. And Ryan Kelly, if he is your successor, you better coach that man up. Because, God, Ryan Kelly is old as shit.
Ryan Kelly's also a free agent for your Colts. So, yeah, we'll see whether he even comes back to the Colts. So that's one big thing that you have to watch there. But, all right, so Tad is high on Jonah Mannheim. Not high on Woody Marks. And Jalen Smith seems to be like somewhere in the middle.
I think he's like I said, the perfect day 3 prospect.
All right, fair. Let's get to the UCLA prospects here.
I can't wait.
I got some of the
let's get into this.
So let's start at the tight end position. We got Moliki Matavao. I believe that's nice. How you say it.
Wait. Second only to what is the best tight end name of all time?
Algie Crumpler.
No, you're wrong.
Algie Crumpler.
Nope. I'll give you a hint.
I don't care what your answer is.
Hold on. I want to see if you can get this. He played for the Rams and the Patriots, and he went to Hawaii.
Michael Humawani or something like that, right? Something along those lines.
Michael Humanaunui.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. All right, so we're sort of in the pain there. But
anyway,
getting to Matavao here, just big body tight end Tad. He comes in at nearly 6'6" and 263 pounds. So this is a big dude playing the tight end position. Definitely a willing blocker. That's definitely how he's going to see the field early and often. He's going to be a blocker both in the run game as well as the pass game. And that's probably where he's going to sort of make his mark early. He definitely needs to refine his pass catching skills, be more of a nuanced route runner. But he definitely has the ability to sort of be like that change of pace tight end in case you sort of want to go with like an emergency situation situation where it's like, yeah, you don't expect this guy to run around for you, but yeah, he may catch a ball for you in the red zone, be sort of like a last second threat, sort of that guy that you're sort of not covering. So yeah, he's definitely got a lot of refinement in the pass catching as far as like being more of a threat in the offense. But as far as a blocker, he's definitely going to come in and he's going to start very quickly and be one of those very dominant blockers at the next level. Two linebackers that I got for you here, Tad. We got Oluwafemi Oladejo, linebacker. They've been calling him Femi. They've been calling him Femi as like they've been shortened it down because
Femi is what we're going with. Okay,
that's what I've seen on a lot of articles. They've been calling him Femi.
No, that's good to know.
Yeah. Very aggressive defender. Like this is a guy, like the biggest thing that I kept seeing on a lot of articles and a lot of reports is just that bull in a china shop. Like this guy's just very aggressive, very violent in nature when it comes to attacking opposing offensive lines. He's got the very early skills to be a disruptor in the NFL. The biggest thing though is that he sort of just goes. I mean, he just sort of goes for the, offensive line, just sort of tries to get to the backfield.
There's no refinement to the game.
No refinement, and it seems like he just doesn't have a plan as far as like, okay, if the blocker's going to do this, I'm going to do this. Or it's like, if he stops me here, I can make it a move and I can make an adjustment. I can get in the backfield this way. So he doesn't have a plan of attack as to how to get into the backfield to be more of like a next level defender, a next level pass rusher. I mean, he's shown some good reps during practice week this week. A lot of people are thinking this guy could be a rising prospect through the draft process here. So I mean, like he's got a lot of intangible skills that you want, but yeah, definitely a guy that's like you need to further refine him, further develop him. He could see some work maybe on some early downs as far as pass rusher, but yeah, as far as being like a dominant pass rusher to be a next, Myles Garrett or Nick Bosa or, Max Crosby, like beat those guys, you need to just develop further and have more tools in your bags to be just a solid disruptor there. But yeah, a lot to like about Femi Oladejo, the linebacker / pass rusher from UCLA. And the last guy, Tad, this is probably like their best prospect coming out this year, and that's Carson Schwessinger, the linebacker with UCLA.
Wait, that's how you say it?
Schwessinger, I believe. Yeah.
Schwessinger. Moving on.
Schwessinger could be that too. Look, I mean, yeah, still working on these names as we go through the process here.
Hey,
but yeah,
there's a reason Bird gave me the USC guys.
No, there's a reason.
I'm not
Tad
joking.
I'm not joking
either. Yeah, no, I'm
there's
not
a reason
joking.
Tad picked the USC guys. So once I gave him a choice
yes.
between both names, and he's like, "Oh, USC hands down." I was like, "Yep, they do."
I saw it within 5 seconds. I was like, "I'll take USC."
100%.
I will take all the heat I get for Woody Marks for the next 3 months. It was.
Oh yeah, 100%. That is going to be your mark. For sure.
This is going to be my Kayvon Thibodeau 2025, isn't it?
Oh, Lord. Yeah, you need to be very thankful that Alfred Rowe is not on the broadcast yet. We'll see whether he comes on a little bit later. We hope he does, because, yeah, I'd love to hear.
We hope he does.
I'd love to hear the debate he has with Woody Marks with you for sure. But, yeah, getting back to Carson Schwessinger, the linebacker for UCLA. Sideline to sideline defender. I mean, he attacks the ball. He's a very good, aggressive ball carrier, like brings down the ball carrier. He's got a nose for the football. He definitely can, shoot the gaps when he's coming in on run plays, but also has that ability to sort of drop into pass coverage and be sort of that pass coverage linebacker as well. He's got all the skills to be sort of that new hybrid linebacker that all the leagues want now. I mean, sort of that Pred Warner type, that Darius Leonard type, those types of linebackers. He's got those skill sets. But I think the biggest thing that he sort of needs to rein in a little bit is his aggressiveness. Like that's sort of like his best trait, but it's also his biggest weakness as well, where just like, yeah, sometimes he's just a little too aggressive, can sometimes over pursue on some ball carriers. Sometimes he just doesn't get to the, situation as quickly as maybe he needs to. It just is a little bit too, too ramped up, sort of very similar to what we're talking about with Oladejo, where it's just like he's going in, just wanting to shoot the gaps, wanting to just attack the ball carrier and bring them down instead of like stopping back, processing the entire play, and then making a move that way. But also, I think the biggest thing is like against bigger blockers, it was hard for him to disengage to then go and pursue the ball carrier then. So it's like he needs to work on just a little bit of his hand shedding and his hand movement to sort of break off the blocker and then go and attack the ball carrier that. But yeah, there's a lot to like about him. A lot of people have him ranked as probably like that number 3 linebacker as far as all their linebackers are concerned when it comes to the middle linebacker position, your true linebacker position. And so, yeah, depending on how the draft process goes, he could shoot up and maybe either the first or second one as well. So a lot to like about Carson Schwessinger.
Well, and I think a lot of with these UCLA guys that you're going to see is how, if they get the invite, how they perform at the combine, right? Mm-hmm. We're now just a little over a month, a little under a month. I'm not entirely sure when the combine dates
Combine's about a month, yeah.
Yeah, about a
start
month.
at the end of February.
So I think that, but you're right. UCLA has a lot of natural talent there that, yeah, they could have a couple guys drafted this year. And for those of you wondering, speaking of natural talent, and by the way, like potential risers given the combine, the reason I was making faces while Murr was talking was nothing about his UCLA analysis. That was all great. It's actually a guy I had been keeping my eye on. I didn't want to like put a label on him because I still was struggling. But that last drive, Landon Jackson, the defensive end out of Arkansas, was a big winner on that last drive. He's not going to get credited with the sack that ended it, but he was the one that caused it. And standing at 6'7", 280 pounds, that's why I was like, okay, you're a Frankenstein's monster, right? You're tall as shit, but like you have no girth. But, and you're going to laugh at me again, but here are the two comparisons I make to his pass rush style. It's Robert Mathis, and how about this for a throwback name? Elvis Dumerville.
Elvis Dumerville. There's a good name.
Name one pass rush move. There we go. That either one of them excelled at.
I know Robert Mathis sort of developed more of a spin move because he played with Dwight Freeney, but it wasn't at the same level as Dwight Freeney.
No, Freeney
wasn't at the same level as Dwight Freeney.
Yes,
no, definitely not.
But point being is those guys were just faster than the linemen, right? Like they were just pure bull rushers. Landon Jackson, despite my reservations a couple weeks ago, I kind of looked at him. I was like, physical freak. You're just better at the college level. You know, everyone's as big as you. Honestly, his performance today, maybe there's something worth looking here.
All right.
Landon Jackson, Latu. Sounds good to me.
Okay, so we do have a quarterback change, so we are going to play our game again.
I swear, is this a Canadian guy? If he's a Canadian guy,
I won't stop you with the credit.
Okay,
I want to get to one question before we get to our quarterback game here and our college football game there.
Oh, look at that. Woody Marks didn't do shit.
Wow. Really? You're just going to further endear yourself to the USC fans that we have on the stream.
The hole is right there. We got 1 yard. All-star MVP, baby.
But let me ask you my question here before we get to our quarterback game here. Okay. So they're interviewing Jim Nagy, who is the Senior Bowl director, and he's the one who sort of sends out these invites to all these recruits to come out to play for the Senior Bowl. He interviewed, if you remember, for the New York Jets GM job. What did you think about that potential interview? Like, did you think that was a good move because he's involved in the Senior Bowl, or is it like sort of a weird move because he's only involved in the Senior Bowl? Like, I mean, just overall, what was your reaction when you saw that he got an invite to be the potentially the GM for the New York Jets?
I'm not going to give this the time of day. And I'll give you one good reason why is because, yes, the Jets did do this. By the way, you did say Joe Nagy, right?
Jim Nagy.
Okay, yeah. I gotta look up. There has to be some relationship with Matt Nagy there, right?
I don't think so.
Interesting. Anyway, point being is the Jets interviewed Rex Ryan.
That's for head coach. I'm talking about GM.
I don't care. But clearly they're just like, they were interviewing everyone like underneath the entire fucking sky of the universe. Like, I swear to God, the ticker on ESPN for a week straight was just like, oh, shut up. Was just like the entire time of just like, they interviewed this guy. I mean, Louis Riddick was like apparently ready to take that job, and that never happened. So, yeah, I mean, I understand the logic behind it. It's not the best logic, but I understand it. And no, ultimately they didn't go with it. It's just, God, Jets fans, I'm so sorry. Like, at least the Browns are trying now, but like, damn. Browns and Jets, man, I'm sorry, dude. And then your team's going to move and they're all going to blame you. And it's just, it's just the worst. And then Steven Jackson's never going to make the Hall of Fame because he just wasted his career in St. Louis. I have no PTSD from this, I swear.
Yeah, sure you don't.
He is a Hall of Famer, damn
it. Oh, gosh. All right, Ted, let's play your favorite game then.
Okay.
We have another quarterback change here.
We got a little. So it's Tyler Shack. Well, we're real quick. It's Tyler Shack, right?
Shuck is actually Shuck.
Damn it.
Tyler Shuck. It's spelled S-H-O-U-G-H.
Yeah, it looks like show or shoe.
Yeah, it should be Shug or like something like that, but it's actually Shuck. So that's how you pronounce it.
Notice how I specifically prepared for him. Yes. And I still got it wrong.
And you still got it wrong.
Oh, Lord.
All right, give me a second here. Let me just pull up some information.
I actually have a fair amount here. Okay, I'm actually feeling good about it.
This is going to be an interesting one. I'm curious to see how many you're going to be able to get with this one. There's a couple obvious ones. But
there's a Jets player I'm forgetting. if I get his first name,
Wait! Don't start yet. Don't start yet.
Hold on. If I get his first name and position, am I gifted the last name?
You need to get the last name. You need to get the last name.
God damn it!
I'll give it to you if you can get the last name. I'm not gonna give it to you if you can't get the first name.
But if I get first and college, like if I go for 2 for 3, no, damn it!
You got to give me the last name. Got to give me the last name.
It wasn't Calvin Williams. What was it?
Okay.
All right. Anyway. All right.
You ready?
Yep.
45 seconds. Name as many alumni as you can for the University of Louisville. Ready, set, go.
Alice Dumerville.
That's good.
Yep. Lamar Jackson, Devontae Parker, Jair Alexander, Marcus Davenport, right?
Okay. No, not Marcus Davenport. He went to UTSA.
He went to UTSA. That's right. There's some edge rusher from Louisville that I'm forgetting about. That's not Elvis Dumerville. Okay, so Calvin something. He's the safety who was drafted by the Jets. I can't remember
who you're talking about, but you got to give me the last name.
I hate you. I hate you so much for this. Zappy? No, he was Western Kentucky, wasn't he? Shit. Yeah, he was a Hilltopper. Damn it. I always get the Hilltoppers and the Cardinals mixed up. Kevin Ware.
I'll give you that one. I have to double check that one.
He's the basketball player that Shatter is like genius.
All right, so that's 4.
4, damn it.
And the safety that you were looking for from the University of Louisville is Calvin Pryor.
Pryor! Damn it! That's right. Damn it. I never really got Pryor. Did they have a edge rusher that was drafted in the first round over the past 5 years? I could have sworn it was Davenport, but I'm trying to think. Maybe it was like a Davenport-esque where I was just like, yeah, he's just a freak because he plays at Louisville. Oh! Devontae Fields. Damn it.
But you missed Teddy Bridgewater. Pretty easy.
Bush!
You missed Teddy Bridgewater. I was surprised that you missed.
Oh, yeah, Bridgewater. That was an easy one.
Isaac Garendo, who have found some success with the Niners this year. So, I mean, if you're a fantasy player, which you are, we give some fancy analysis. So that was one that you probably should have gotten as well. But yeah, Teddy Bridgewater, surprised you missed that one.
Yeah, no, so am I. That was bad.
But yeah, you got 4. You got 4 for University.
I'll take it.
Not bad. Not bad.
I'll say 5. But oh my God, that catch by Besh.
Yeah, Jack Besh with a very impressive catch over 2 defenders there. I mean, I guess over 1 defender. The other one was sort of late to come there. But yeah, very impressive hand. He got jumped up there, got good agility there to sort of get that. And yeah, good pass there as well by Jackson Dart.
Okay, I was
as well, Ole Miss. So we'll wait on that one just a little bit. But yeah, we got Jackson Dart coming in here for Ole Miss for the American team. Tad is actually kind of surprising. I'm curious if you have any thoughts on Jackson Dart, because pretty much a lot of things that I'm seeing on social media and a lot of reports saying that Jackson Dart could insert himself into being one of the first quarterbacks taken in this year's draft. Clearly, you're shaking your head. You don't think that. So, I mean, just, overall, what do you feel about Jackson Dart?
Because you tried to do this last time on the show where you wrote me into this ridiculous conversation. They're like, why do you hate Jackson Dart so much? I don't hate Jackson Dart. I think he is a perfect mid-round quarterback prospect. Stop trying. I feel like Gretchen here. Stop trying to make Jackson Dart happen. It's not going to happen. What's her last name, by the way?
But he's so Fitch.
Yeah, exactly. Shut up. Whatever your name is. But point being is it's just I think he's this year's Spencer Rattler, where if your Derek Carr goes down, you have a guy who can win you some games, lose you some games. But point being is he's nowhere on the same level as Shedeur or Jalen Milroe or Cam Ward.
Wow. So, he's not on the same level as Jalen Milroe?
No, I would take Milroe 100% over him.
Wow. 100%. There's an interesting take as well. There's a very interesting take.
Because at least Milroe's up. Okay, that's a whole other discussion, which actually we probably will have on a later episode. But yes. Jalen Milroe, as I said at the start of this live stream, has potential to play himself in the first round consideration. I don't know who the hell you're reading. The only people I see talking about Jackson Dart in the first round is you.
All right, so not a fan of Jackson Dart. Where do you think he'd go?
Touchdown. God damn it.
Of course he does.
No, but no. See, here's what I'm talking about. Is you say all right, you're not a fan of Jackson Dart thing. Yes, I am a fan of him. I'm just not a fan of the proper expectations for him.
Okay.
I'm not saying he's going to be a bust. I would probably. We're going to have our top 5 positional rankings come out over the next couple of weeks. I'm trying to think. So Ward number 1, Sanders number 2, McCord number 3. Dart's in play for number 4. Probably Milroe will win out, but Dart's in play for number 4. So no, I'm not a Dart hater. But I see Jackson Dart going to let's say the Chargers. The Chargers don't have a great, backup quarterback situation. The Chiefs. I can see the Chiefs wanting finally, instead of like getting like Carson Wentz and who else? Chase Daniel or oh God, who's the guy that used to be on the 49ers and not Garrett Gilbert. The Mizzou kid.
Blaine Gabbert?
Blaine Gabbert, thank you. Like, and instead of like just filling in with vet after vet, hey, let's just draft a guy in the 7th round, just develop him. Like, why not? And then maybe like pull a Patriots and flip him for a 2nd rounder years from now. So I could see him being a Chief. Basically, any team with a stable quarterback situation that just needs a little bit more stability behind it. Now, I will say this. My worst fear for Jackson Dart is, let's say you go somewhere like the Colts, where Colts fans, their patience is very thin. And yes. Richardson, I don't think Richardson's going to be our starter past the first month of next season. I think he's going to get benched. But that's what makes me go, what is he getting benched for? If we have Kirk Cousins riding the bench, all of a sudden I'm like, I can get behind this. Okay. All right. But if they're like, all right, yeah. All right. We're benching Richardson. It's like, all right. Savior of the Colts and it's Jackson Dart. Fuck. And no, I'm not going to watch the afterwards. But I think that's where, like, if Jackson Dart is given time to develop, I think he does have some potential. But I am worried some overzealous team is going to feed him to the wolves. Jets.
Jets can strike me as that team that can eventually.
Jets are going to end some dude's career before it even starts.
It could possibly happen there for sure. All right, Dad. So we're at a commercial break. The American team has just tied it up at 8 apiece now. So we got ourselves a ball game here. But yeah, as mentioned, we're definitely going to continue our game here. So we're talking about Jackson Dart. He is a alumni of Ole Miss. So we're going to play our game here again. Just got to find some information here on. Where is it? Oh, here it is. Okay. So once again, you got 45 seconds to name as many alumni from Ole Miss, University of Mississippi, whatever you want to call it there. Ted, are you ready?
Yeah, I don't know why this is going to be the first name off I think just because the story is so wild. But anyway, yes.
Really quick, do you think you'll get more or less than Louisville?
Oh, you're good.
Louisville, you got more.
Oh, definitely more. I got more.
You think more? Okay, all right. Let's see if you get.
I got more just like off the holster right now.
Okay, all right. Ready, set, go.
Robert Condici.
Nice.
I don't know why he sticks out to me, but Bo Wallace, Eli Manning, Evan Ingram, Dexter McCluster. How about that?
Nice. Dexter McCluster. That's a good pull.
Michael Orr.
Patrick Willis, that's a good pull.
Laquan Treadwell.
Yes.
Oh man. Now I'm starting to run out. Man, they've had a lot of good linemen, haven't they? There's a running back. Is there a running back I'm forgetting who's pretty obvious?
Guy transferred from TCU, yeah.
I mean, no. Well, fuck. What was his name? No, because he got benched for the freshman. Oh my god. Yeah, I guess that's shit. I want to say Walter Nolan, but I mean Walter Nolan's a prospect this year, so that doesn't.
He is a current prospect, technically.
Walker Little. For some reason, Walker Little was sticking it. Is that guy?
Walker Little is a guy. No, he went to Stanford. Sorry, he went to Stanford.
Okay.
But the running back there's some corner from TCU that you talked about was Zach Evans.
Oh yeah, Zach. Yeah, he sucks. Who cares?
Oh gosh, I love it. But you missed AJ Brown and DK Metcalf.
Both those guys. Yeah, that was. I knew there were receivers. Isn't there a good corner they have too? Robert Alford? No, he was Mississippi State, I think. They had some good corner I'm blanking on. Darrell Reeves? No. Where did Reeves go? Oh, no,
also, Tad, you forgot Colts legend Dante Moncrief.
I hate you. I legitimately have not thought of the name Dante Moncrief in the last 10 years up until this point.
Also,
I will give you hold on. I will give you bonus points if you remember what number he wore.
It was like a double, like it was one of the early double digit numbers. It wasn't like 80 or something like that. I think it was a team number. I think it was 15.
No, he was number 10.
Number 10. That's what it was.
You're thinking Pierre Garçon. You're thinking of one of my all-time favorite Colts. You're thinking of my man, Mr. Pierre Garçon.
Niner legend Pierre Garçon.
Oh, how dare you?
Did you say Michael Orr? Because then you missed that one too.
No, I did say that.
Okay, that was one of the ones you said. Okay, yeah. You said it kind of fast, so I think I might have missed that one when you said it. But okay.
I think I went from Kandichi to Michael Orr. I think for some reason the Kandichi synthetic weed story just sticks out of my mind. Of like, that dude had a very promising career, and that just went so weird.
Yeah, that was very, very weird for sure.
Who was Kandichi drafted by? Do you remember?
Who was he drafted by?
This poor team they will just never have a great pass rusher ever.
I don't remember. Was it Minnesota?
It was not. Oh, come on. John Randall, put some respect on his name.
No, I know, but that's why I was just, making sure.
I said ever, because I will challenge you to name their all-time leader in sacks. And my guess is Calais Campbell, Arizona Cardinals.
Arizona Cardinals.
That is a good question, actually. Who is the Cardinals' all-time sack leader? I'm guessing I'm Campbell.
It could be Campbell. It could be Bertram Berry.
Who the hell is that? Whoa, we're both wrong. Wow. Calais Campbell. So I was closest. Calais Campbell's number 3.
Okay.
Chandler Jones is number 1.
Chandler Jones. He did spend a lot of time in Arizona. Yeah.
Good old Chandler Jones. How's his podcast doing?
Oh, it's a podcast?
It's called like CTE. He does it with Antonio Brown. It's called like CTE or something. It's like
fantastic.
Yeah, no, exactly. Fantastic. It's just like
anything you're doing with Antonio Brown nowadays is like, yeah, that's the direction you want to be going in.
Dylan Gabriel looks like Jerry the Mouse if he hadn't had a haircut in 3 months.
Jerry the Mouse. Okay. All right. It's an interesting comparison, but yeah.
Oh, look, it's your first rounder missing a wide open receiver.
I'd say he's going to be a first rounder. This is also
yes, you did. We're not 10 minutes away from you talking about him talking himself into the first round.
I'm saying there's people out there that are saying he could possibly be one of those quarterbacks taken at the very top.
I have never seen any of these people. You're like Trump out there, like many people say. That Porter is a disaster. And I'm here in Texas, like, it's fine.
Plus, this isn't even Jackson Dart. This is Tyler Shuck right now. So it's like.
All right. When does Louisville have black helmets?
This is one of the throwback helmets. So it has the.
Oh, that's cheating. No, that should not be allowed. That's cheating. With all-star games, like, it's the helmets or nothing. Like, I can't tell any of these guys apart yet.
It's not even like a throwback helmet. It's like their new look, but it's the old logo.
That's what I'm trying. What is it? It's okay. It's him doing the okay.
It's the Cardinal doing a Heisman pose, essentially. Yeah. Now you can see a better picture.
A little too try hard. A little too much. Like I'll tell you the perfect like throwback logo is the NC State Wolf logo. That is a great throwback.
NC State Wolf logo. That was a good one. That's a good one. I also like the Oregon State Beaver, the one wearing the sailor hat. That's one of my favorite logos too.
Or Oregon as well, like Oregon with the duck, like
the Donald Duck one. Those are great logos. Not this newfangled weird looking duck. I don't like this one. You got to go with the Donald Duck. That duck.
See, there are different. That the old duck, you're like, oh, that's duck I want to approach. This new duck, you're like, I'm okay. Yeah. I'm not even gonna give you a bread.
This duck's a little too woke. I don't like.
I will say this actually. All right, Spider-Man voice actor, take it easy. Oh man, see, okay, that's what I'm gonna say. I actually feel like San Jose State is actually a line like with Spartans. You could do a pretty cool redesign there.
So I do like some of their older logos. They're them doing just the SJ now. It's like not as cool anymore. Yeah. But yeah, some of their older logos.
Like you see, like Michigan State is like leaning heavy into the Spartan stuff now. I know the last Michigan State game you saw, but like they changed their uniforms, so now you have like the old like I want to say Roman, but I know people are gonna yell at me like it's not Roman, it's great. I don't know the old like timey like most like the up and down pattern.
They do that with their helmet too. That's their stripe. The helmet stripe over down the middle.
That's what I mean. Like lean more into the Spartan stuff. Make your stripe like a.
I wonder though if because
spear that would be sweet.
It is a spear on some of their helmets. It is
Damn
a spear.
it!
Oh yeah, you beat you to it. But I want to say, I wonder if because Michigan State goes so hard as like Sparty and Spartan and stuff like that,
They're a
that
little
San Jose
scared of
State
it.
maybe can't, or like
Mm.
maybe something like that, or it's like maybe they'll be like, oh well, maybe they'll associate us with Michigan State instead of San Jose State. So it's like maybe that's why they're more like, nope, San Jose 408, all that stuff instead of Sparty.
Now, to be fair, and I bring this up because it actually does, feed into this conversation, is that's a fair argument, but as long as Delaware has those helmets, you cannot convince me that a smaller program is going to be scared of a bigger program, because Delaware blatantly, not even like same design. It's not even the high school thing of like, oh, same design, but different colors. It's like, nope, same colors, same design, same everything. And if you thought that was the only time we were going to bring up Delaware today, you are mistaken. I don't know if we're going to do that now or later, but yeah, Delaware's going to come up again.
No, actually, Tad, with you bringing it up, I think this is a good opportunity. We're coming close to the end of the first half here as well. So, like, this is a good opportunity to sort of speak about some of those small school prospects. And yeah, definitely, we have a running back from Delaware, Marcus Yarns, the running back from Delaware. Lots of the other prospects that we have here. We have Carson Vincent, the only HBCU prospect playing in the Senior Bowl today out of the University of Alabama A&M. We got David Walker, the linebacker / edge rusher from Central Arkansas. Keandre Jackson, the defensive back from Illinois State. Clay Webb, offensive lineman from Jacksonville State. We got Raywan Lane III, the defensive back from Navy. I know Navy's not exactly a big school, but it's also not really a small school, but I still count it.
What was the debate we were having a couple years ago? Is Colorado State a small school?
I think I called it one, and you were like, I'm not sure if you would call it one. I remember that, but I would call it.
I think it was reversed. I think I called it a small school, and you were like, that's not a small school. Because I remember the prospect name.
We'll have to go back and check the tape on that.
I remember the prospect name.
I do remember that conversation.
Because it was Troy Horton who was in this year's draft.
Yeah, for sure. Gray Zabel, the offensive lineman from North Dakota State. Jackson Slater, the offensive lineman from Sacramento State. Jamal Pritchett from the local kid here out of University of South Alabama, wide receiver. Melvin Smith, the defensive back from Southern Arkansas. And then the last one, Charles Grant, the offensive lineman from William and Mary. So, Tad, I know we sort of looked at some of these prospects. Who are some of these guys that you want to speak about?
Well, the reason I just point is because it's a guy who just made the catch, but it's looking like...
Well, there's a flag, so it's sort of coming back there.
False start. Damn it! But, okay, that's an interesting play call, because that's actually going to feed exactly into my analysis of him, is because it was a swing screen pass where, give him space on the outside. And I think that's where Marcus Yarns, the running back out of Delaware, is really going to succeed in the NFL. And, Amir, for once, I have an NFL comp, and it's not a Hall of Famer.
Okay, let's hear it.
Are you ready? I think that Marcus Yarns has a very promising future as the next generation's Austin Eckler.
Okay. Also went to a small school. He went to Western Colorado.
Exactly.
So I can see that.
And I think you can work with him very well in space. And you watch this a ton watching Delaware's tape, is they love the little, you can't, the direct snap where it's in shotgun and it looks like just normal play, and they snap it to the left or right or whatever. They did that a ton at Delaware, because you didn't know, is Yarns going to be out there for the swing pass? Is he going to be there, hitting the gap? Is he going to, get the snap right? You don't know. He was their Swiss Army knife on that offense. I meant to look this up before the game started. I didn't have time, unfortunately. If Yarns does get a combine invite, I could see him potentially playing himself in the day 2 category. I love him. He has great field vision. The speed isn't the best. And that's why going back to the combine invite, I need to look at, while you react to this take, I'll go and look to see if he's been invited, because if he runs a sub 4.5 40 time at the combine, I really think he could be a late third, maybe late second. I think that's absolute best case scenario, but it would not shock me if Yards snuck up into the 3rd round in this year's draft.
3rd round. Okay. Wow. That's high praise for the guy out of
right now. I would have him say is probably 5th, 6th rounder, but I think again, with some good performances today and as pro day, and obviously, just look out for him.
I think the interesting thing that we always debate when we're talking about the draft is just do scouts still look at the helmet, right? So it's like, you look at Marcus Yarns going to Delaware, where you got a lot of, like I said, I like this year's draft class. You got a lot of running backs coming from a lot of bigger programs. So obviously you got Ashton Genty, the top prospect at the Boise State. You got Caleb Johnson at Iowa. You got Amari and Hampton from North Carolina. You got Devin Neal from Kansas. You got DJ Harvey from UCF.
Jackson there again, by the way.
So, I mean, you just wonder where it's like, a guy like, Marcus Yarns, where it's like, he could have that success, but it's just like, will he still then be valued as highly as maybe another guy going to a bigger program where you maybe got a little bit more exposure there, right? So that's the thing that I always worry about with some of these small school prospects. It's just like, that's what's going to unfortunately make them take a stock hit, because some teams we talked about before just look at that helmet and where they went to school instead of looking at just purely the production. So
I will say this. So while you were talking, I did look it up. Yarns confirmed to receive a combine invite. So I think
nice.
If you're, I'm sure we will do this episode of like guys who need to win at the combine.
Yeah.
He's a big one. Because I mean, like we talked about before, I don't think it's a very top heavy running back draft, but like middle, that is a crowded middle right there. So like,
there's a lot of good pieces that you can get on day 2 for sure.
Yeah, so I think he's going to have a really good performance both today and at the combine, but I think he's got the potential to do it. Now, last thing I'll say before I kick it back to you, Landon Jackson just got at least half a sack. I'm telling you, like right now, as it stands now, 2 minutes before. By the way, why do we have a 2-minute warning for the Senior Bowl?
I think so you can sort of process like, the 2-minute drill. It just like it ends it there, because this is standard college football rules, right? Where like it stops at the second, 2-minute warning or whatever, right? So maybe that's what it is.
Oh, you sweet summer child. As we would say down here in Texas, bless your heart, baby. Bless your heart. Now it's commercials. They just want more commercials. That's why.
Yeah, well, that too, of course.
My point being is Landon Jackson right now is my early, like, easy winner for Senior Bowl. I mean, this kid's like potentially talking himself up to be like an Eagle at 31 or 32.
Wow. Okay. Maybe the Eagles, we got that. We'll probably talk a little bit about the Super Bowl.
I actually didn't even do that.
Yeah, we've got a commercial for it right now too as well. So we'll talk about the Super Bowl a little bit later in the broadcast here for sure. But is there anybody else you want to speak about as far as some of these small school guys? I
mean, I kind of brought him up already. Let's see if I can get his name right this time. And that's Gray Zabel at North Dakota State. And it's actually, I know a lot of people are like, who's watching offensive line during football games? He's actually started the entire first half. Yeah, it looks like they're playing mainly at center and guard.
In the trenches, you got to have a good, solid offensive line.
Well, it's funny you say in the trenches because during his time at North Dakota State, he played primarily tackle. And I think the consensus, and I agree with this consensus, I don't see a future for him at tackle. He just lacks the top heavy strength. He does a very good job of anchoring the defender. He just doesn't do a very good job of not getting backed up into his own guy. So it's one of those things of technically you're blocking him, but the quarterback's still feeling pressure type of thing. So I think, with Zabel, we're looking at a potential move to guard or center, which is, again, what they seem to be doing today. I haven't noticed anything glaring from him today, but he's a fascinating day 3 product. If the Colts took him in the 6th round, I'd be very happy with that. Because it's okay, if he's forcing the starting rotation right now, not feeling great about it. We're not screwed, but I'm not feeling great about it.
Yeah.
Is the guy 3 years from now when, Quentin Nelson retires? Day's never coming. He's the Hugh Jackman Wolverine. Do it till he's 90.
You come back. Yeah.
But I think he is an interesting project that definitely has developmental strategies there. So he's nothing exciting that you're like, oh my God, this guy benched 40 pounds. But I think, again, he's a guy that on day 3 when, oh shit, Landon Jackson forced fumble. Look at that.
There you go.
But I think that going back to Zabel, he's one of those guys when your team's taking a bunch of guys, you're like, I have no idea who that is. Zabel's the name where you look at him and go, I have no idea who that is, but you deserve some excitement for it.
Fair.
God, Landon Jackson's so good. Jackson, Latu Jackson. I can get used to that. Latu Jackson. We can make a chant. We'll figure it out.
But yeah, nice strip sack there. I mean, Jackson Dart, just probably one of the big things he probably needs to work on is that.
Honestly, one of the bigger losers. No, he has not been having a good game. I don't say that because of the prior conversation. I actually mean that. He missed an easier throw early, turnover right here. It's not. And
But yeah, that gives the ball back to National. They can sort of make a last-second push here before we close out the half to see whether they could get some more points on the board here. Very interesting there. But yeah, just to sort of close out our conversation on the small school prospect.
But if you guys are watching, along with us, 77 with a green helmet, that's Zabel right there.
Yeah. Yep. He is playing on
he's lined up at right guard.
And Jonah Mannheim, for all of you USC fans out there, he is the center right now playing for the national team as well. But yeah, really quickly, just to close out the conversation on these small school prospects. I mean, two guys that I want to talk about was David Walker, the linebacker / edge rusher out of Central Arkansas. He won the 2024 Buck Buchanan Award for being the best defensive player in the FCS. So, I mean, this guy was definitely recognized as being a game wrecker at the FCS level. He's an undersized defender, and he relies heavily on his speed. But when you're playing at the FCS level, you can sort of get away with that. But I think the biggest thing that you also see as well is he's get good hand leverage, so he engages with the blocker pretty quickly. Then he uses his hand strength to sort of get around the pass blocker to then get into the backfield, make a lot of tackles for loss, also generate a lot of sacks. But the bigger thing that we've always talked about, Tad, with some of these undersized edge rushers is that they have to develop more tricks in their bag, right? And they also have to develop more functional strength. So it's like he can't just rely on his speed at the next level because the blockers are bigger at the next level, and they're also a little bit more good with their short area quickness, right? So they'll be able to pick him up a lot sooner, and he won't be as effective as just a pure pass rusher. So one of those things that he needs to build up is that strength. He needs to develop a few more tricks as far as his pass rush arsenal, but there's a lot to like as him as a developmental pass rush prospect. The other guy that I would bring up, an offensive lineman. This is the offensive lineman out of Sacramento State. This is Jackson Slater. He is a 2024 FCS first AP All-American. So, I mean, he is widely recognized as being one of the top linemen in the FCS. Interior lineman, he's taking a lot of snaps at center during Senior Bowl practice, and I think he's playing center in the game today. But they have used him at Sacramento State as both the tackle position, but mainly at the guard position. So he will come into the league as an interior lineman. Honestly, biggest report that I keep seeing from him every single day of Senior Bowl practice is just he's getting better each and every day. Tad, one of your favorite prospects, Walter Nolan. There's a couple reps that he had against him. Absolutely dominated him. Like, I mean, Walter Nolan didn't have a chance to get to the backfield to disrupt any plays there. Jackson Slater was able to take care of him. Fluid blocker. I mean, just shows good short area quickness. He's got that good agility as well. Gets to the second level to look for extra work. I mean, just a very good pass blocker. And I think a guy that could really become a very good developmental piece, just like David Walker, that, yeah, Jackson Slater, whoever drafts him, he could definitely make some moves to be a good, backup swing offensive lineman on the interior there and just improve on some of his skills to become possibly a future starter there. But yeah, as I was sort of speaking about Jackson Slater, we have our turnover here. Unfortunately, another turnover. We have the national team throwing it right to the American team. We got an interception by the Tulane safety. Got to get the name here for you guys here. That was Caleb Ransaw, the safety, the defensive back / safety out of the University of Tulane. Yeah, I think just Tyler Shuck just didn't see the defender there, threw it into the end zone, hoping to make a touchdown there. But yeah, unfortunately, just got the pick off there by Ransaw. So we'll see whether the American team can do anything with the final 30 seconds in this game. But yeah, very good interception there by Ransaw to break it up there. And then you also got another breakup here by Jonathan Edwards, also plays for
well, I was about to say, notice how it's two different Tulane helmets. You got one wearing the blue one wearing the white one.
Well, obviously you got the national team wearing white, so I think maybe that's why they went with the white helmet. And then obviously for the American team, they went with that light blue, the sky blue Tulane helmet there for.
And that's why.
But yeah, Tulane defenders making plays on back-to-back plays here for both teams.
Let's see. Also, apologies, but I got a call from a massage therapist, and apparently Justin Tucker is still at it. I had to do it just once. Oh, look at that. Your boy fumbles again.
Very curious to see how that all plays out with Justin Tucker.
Potential. Those people saying potential first rounder, you fools.
Well, I mean, the Senior Bowl is not an end-all, be-all sort of situation. So, I mean, he's still got some chances to.
It's funny you should say that because, actually, you know what? No, I'm not going to spoil. So I do, while you were filling, I had to go off to, in all seriousness, first off, go to the bathroom. But also, I found a fun trivia game that I'm going to spring on you in the second half.
Ooh, we got illegal hands to the face, though, unfortunately, by the defense. So, yeah, it's good. They're going to get the ball back, so they're going to be able to make some plays here. But, yeah,
That's a
just
soft-ass call.
ball security by Jackson Dart just, seems to be a little bit of an issue here. Just not watching.
He's kind of
what's
doing
going
the
to happen.
Tebow thing, right? It's a little weird. Of like, you remember how Tebow threw the ball where you hold it really?
Yeah.
It's very hard to do this from a lateral angle. But, like, yeah, he would throw it and then, like, kind of wind up like that. It looks like Dart's doing, like, he's holding the ball very low, which is interesting to watch. I mean, for obvious reasons, I hate it. They say hindsight for a reason. So, especially imagine getting blindsided like that. I mean, there's no like, I mean, that's a
like he was still able to get the pass off, quote unquote, on this play. So I mean, I don't think it was a fumble, but the previous.
No,
fumble,
I'm not saying on this play
just
specifically. I'm just saying, like, imagine though if like and this is why people get like Tebow. If you're holding it down like that, you get a blindside rush that you don't sense coming. It's an instant fumble. You don't even get the.
It's too easy.
Like,
it's too easy because the pass rushers already trying to gain leverage by going low. And if you're putting the ball right at their helmet level, it's just so easy for them to bat it down. So, I mean, it's like, I know there's a lot of quarterbacks that sort of have that elongated motion, or it's like they hold the ball really low. And that's something you have to clean up. And so, we'll see exactly if he can sort of clean up those mechanics as we go through the draft process.
Speaking of which, by the way, your Sacramento State guys in on the line as well. I just noticed that.
Jackson Slater is playing for the American team.
Well, as we had in halftime, but no, it's funny because I actually get that question from friends a fair amount of just like, why does it matter? Like, why does it matter if quarterbacks, hold their ball down here? Like, as long as it gets to the target. Well, it matters because what's your natural instinct when, like, it's like, when you get rear-ended in a car, right? You flinch, like and they tell you not to because that like actually makes damage worse. But good luck with that. So like, if you're just your traditional quarterback where you're holding it like this, like to your central body, and once again, Tom Brady ruining the NFL of like when you get like hit from the back, what's your natural instinct? And that way you get the tuck rule, right? But if you're holding the ball down here and then you get hit, there's no argument to be made for forward motion. So it's just like, I mean, it's one of those things like, oh, that may happen once or twice a game, but that could be the difference maker. So for those of you wondering, like, why do quarterback mechanics really matter? They matter a lot. And that's actually another problem I have with Dylan Gabriel. And I think that's his zip is not, and I think this kind of goes in what you and I were talking about. His zip or his arm power is not a question. It's, can he utilize it? He has the ability to put zip on these throws. It's just, I think it's a mechanical issue where it's just like he can't optimize the power he has, because he does have that power. He's god awful at using it.
But mechanics makes a huge issue because exactly like you said, if you're holding the ball closer to your chest, that's a lot easier for you to protect it. Right. And then in case you do get tackled,
worst case scenario, if you fumble it, fall into it.
You fall right back onto it. Yeah. So it just solves a lot of issues there in case you do end up in a situation where you're losing a ball or need to make a quick reaction. Whereas if you're holding it far away from your body or holding it low, it just makes it so much easier for a defender to just come in there and just literally just bat it away. And it's an easy fumble that could possibly be a turnover then for your offense that you don't want to limit there. So it's definitely a big issue there. But Tad, we're officially at halftime. It is tied at 8 apiece. And so, we're going to stick with you through the halftime here. But in case you need to take a break or whatever.
I was about to say, I got my union mandated break in about 2 minutes.
So I mean, go for it.
Hey, man, you were the one that did 2 solo shows in December and January, so you should be used to it.
That's true. But for all of you that want to take a break as well, we're going to be taking a little bit of a small break here shortly during halftime, but we will return obviously for the third quarter and the entire second half. Have more discussions as far as the NFL draft. Like we talked about, we'll probably discuss a little bit of the Super Bowl that's happening next weekend. We'll discuss some of those things as well, and a few other things as well. But feel free to stick around through halftime. But we'll be taking a short break probably real shortly here.
All right, so I will be taking a short break right now, but just so we're not leaving you with a blank screen, we can switch off. So I'll take the first break, or I'll come back and you can think of a prompt for me. So here's a prompt for you to kind of think aloud, do your own solo show while I'm taking my break. I'll come back in 3 or 4 minutes.
Okay.
Of the last decade. So let's say, you know what? Let's expand it. Let's say since 2010.
Okay.
Who would you say are the top? I'll go 7 because I feel like it'd be easy to make a top 5 quarterbacks. Let's go top 7 biggest draft busts of the last 14 years. Oh, wow. It's 2025 of the last 15 years.
That's 15 years.
Okay. So you think about that aloud. I will be back in by 3:05.
305. Okay.
So I want a full list by the time I'm back. Got it?
Wow, a full list. Okay. Interesting.
All right.
Interesting.
Ready and go.
Oh man, the the last 15 years, that's going to be interesting because yeah, we've had a lot of good prospects, we had a lot of bad prospects. I mean, it's going to be very interesting to see as far as just, some of those guys, I got to look back at some of these names here as far as, who was good, who was bad. Um yeah, looking at some names here in the very beginning, I could see some pretty big busts here for sure. From 2010, 2000, excuse me. Um, no, 2010, my mistake. 2010 here. Yeah, Rolando McClain, he did not work out at number 8 overall to the Oakland Raiders, the then Oakland Raiders. Yeah, he'd definitely be on my list. Let's move forward to 2011. Yeah, unfortunately for me, especially as a Niners fan, Aldon Smith at number 7 overall. Like, I mean, he had a fantastic first couple of years, but I think you also look at the fact that he benefited from having Justin Smith on the front line there. When he was gone, he just wasn't the same effectiveness. You also look at the fact that just, wasn't all that great and dealt with a lot of issues off the field with some, gun possession and just a lot of fighting within the team itself. And just, yeah, that did not work out as well. Looking at quarterbacks, though, you got the Tennessee Titans drafting Jake Locker at number 8 overall. He did not pan out at well, unfortunately, for the Tennessee Titans. It just ended up moving in a different direction after him. You got Christian Ponder that got shoved up there, number 12 overall to the Minnesota Vikings. Not a good pick there as well either. Yeah, that was tough. That was tough for sure. All right, let's move on to 2012. Trent Richardson, that was a big one, number 3 overall to Cleveland Browns. Traded then to the Indianapolis Colts, which didn't work out as well either. Like, I mean, yeah, that was a pretty bad pick for sure. Justin Blackman, unfortunately, just never saw the field with all of his off the field issues. So, yeah, that's definitely a bust at number 5 overall to the Jacksonville Jaguars. That's when they were just, not being the best drafters at all. I mean, just everything just wasn't working out the way that they wanted to. Shea McClellan never panned out as a good pass rusher after having a great year at Boise State, great college career, at Boise State. Just never was the same effectiveness at the NFL level for the Chicago Bears. Yeah, you definitely got the older prospect and Brandon Whedon, wanting to play baseball, then coming into the NFL. Still
Brandon
drafted
Whedon was
by
not
Cleveland
top 10.
Browns. Was that?
He was not top 10. That doesn't count.
Oh, you're purely going top 10, not even.
Sorry, I forget to put that All right, sorry. You spent the past 3 minutes. You keep going.
I'm just going with the first round players here, but yeah,
Okay,
Brandon Whedon.
fair.
I mean, that was just unfortunately just did not work out for Cleveland drafting an older prospect. But yeah, I think one of the guys, Ted, that I had to put on the list would be Trent Richardson. Like, I mean, the guy just unfortunately just never panned out in the NFL, especially even with that trade to Indianapolis as well. Just that didn't work out either. Yeah, this 2013 draft, this had some busts in the very first couple of picks here. Luke Jokel with the Jaguars just never panned out for them. Number 2 overall. Deion Jordan, this is where I sort of was a little bit shaky when the Niners took back-to-back off defensive lineman from Oregon. I was like, I don't want another Deion Jordan on my hands because, yeah, he did not pan out for the Miami Dolphins. Later, he played for the New York Giants, if I remember correctly, too, I think. But he moved on to a couple other places. It just never worked out wherever he went. We've talked about this player before, Tad. Definitely firsthand experience with this one. Tavon Austin, number 8 overall. That was not a very good pick at all. I expected to see a lot of that with Xavier Worthy this year. Just like that's going to be a very similar mold. Yeah. So we'll see what happens with Xavier Worthy's career.
Xavier Worthy is what Tavon Austin should have been. Like that, when people ask, like, what's the significance of coaching and scheming? That's the significance. St. Louis had no idea what to do with Tavon Austin, and Kansas City has a very clear role for Worthy in mind. God, I hate them.
D. Milliner, the cornerback out of Alabama, that did not pan out for the Jets at all.
I don't know if we're there at this point, but did you say Justin Gilbert?
I don't think I've gotten to that draft.
Okay, that is a historically bad draft. But anyway,
Kenny Vaccaro, number 15 for New Orleans Saints.
I mean, he had a solid 8-year career. I wouldn't call that a bust.
Yeah, but to be the 15th overall pick and the first safety off the board, he did not live up to those expectations. All right, let's Get to 2014. Oof. Yeah. Greg Robinson. We've talked about it before.
Oh, come on.
Overall.
There's only
Number
one
2
tackle.
overall.
There's only one tackle I hate more than Greg Robinson. Can you name him?
It was Jason Smith, right?
Jason fucking Smith. Yeah. And then who was the Chauncey Talese? Chauncey, if you're watching with us, message one of us. There's an offensive tackle the Rams had for a while at Florida State, Alex something. And I'm blanking on his name, but he is easily third on the list there. But anyway, keep going.
And honestly, Tad, I'm curious about your take on this one. So Jadeveon Clowney went first overall to Houston.
Oh, we've had this debate.
I've had this debate with overall pick. I don't think he met expectations.
See, okay, but if does not meet expectations make you a bust? Because I would argue that Jadeveon Clowney did not meet expectations. That 100% agree with. However, I would not consider him a bust. That's like calling Mario Williams a bust. Mario Williams wasn't a bust.
That's fair.
Jadeveon Clowney was a very productive player for the Texans, and he had a very good, 5-year career there. He found revitalization in Cleveland and Baltimore. You get a guy who stays 10 years in the league at the first overall pick. How often do you get that? So is it?
I think for me, it's like you have to sort of. And then he's not with the team anymore. So I think that's the bigger thing, too. It's like if you draft a guy first overall, you expect him to stay with your team at least 10 years. And so, like, the fact that he only played out his rookie contract, then he moved on, that does not scream to me that's like, okay, this was a good pick. Like, I mean, yeah, I agree with you. It's like he had a very productive career. He's still in the league right now, too. But just like for him to be the number 1 overall pick, for all the hype that he was getting out of South Carolina, that's like, oh, they need to change the rules about eligibility, about him being able to move a little earlier because he barely played in his last year at South Carolina, right? It's like because he made his name off that one tackle, right? Just breaking into backfield. And just like for all that hype, that's where it's just sort of like he's sort of in that borderline bust category. I do agree with you because of his longevity in the league. It's hard to call him like a straight up bust. He's not like a Jamarcus Russell, right? It's like it's hard for me to be like, okay, you still kind of missed with him though.
I agree. I think it's like I think that's ultimately what Trayvon Walker is going to be as well. I'm just like, no, you were a very solid player. You had a very good career. You were overdrafted. Sorry, but you were. Like if Clowney or Walker were a second round pick, where by the way I had Slay Walker to be, you would have one hell of a second round pick. And instead, you just took him first overall. So now people are like, hey, you could have had 8.
Yeah, this is the draft that we had. This is the draft, Ted, that we had Blake Bortles going number 3 overall to the
everyone knew that was an overdraft at the time, though. Everyone was like, yeah, this is just not going to end well.
He took it to an NFC Championship game.
He lost the AFC Championship because they kneeled it with 50 seconds left to go because they didn't trust him.
Also, Sammy Watkins, number 4 overall. I did not realize he was drafted that high.
He showed some flashes.
He had some good productive years. He burned Richard Sherman in the Super Bowl, and I will never forget Sherman for that. And that's a part of the reason Niners lost that game. This is the Justin Gilbert draft, Tad. Number 8 overall to the Cleveland Browns.
Oh, are you ready? Are you ready? Go to see who Cleveland got at 15. I believe it was 15.
No, this is they didn't have another pick in the first round. Oh, wait, there it is. There it is. Yeah, 22. This is the Johnny Manziel draft.
22. Yep. And do you want to know why they had 2 first-round picks that year?
No, I don't remember.
Because the Colts gave them their first round that year for
Trent Richardson.
I hate them. But yeah, no, let's keep Ballard around for another year. That's a great idea.
Oh, yeah, this is the Eric Ebron draft.
Oh, come on. You're bringing him up, too.
But I will say his only good year in the NFL came with your Colts. Like, that's the reason that he gets this.
And then we fell for the Miami Heat trick of like, hey, we made this no-name guy good. Here's a bunch of money. I hate them. I hate them both.
Yeah, one good year.
One good year. Damn it.
All right.
Eric Ebron out of
2015.
Well, I want to see if you can get this. Ebron out of?
Georgia, right?
No. If I'm not mistaken. I may be mistaken. I'm pretty sure it's Boise State.
No. North Carolina, I think, right?
Nah. Or no, you're right. Who's the Boise State guy I'm thinking of? That doesn't matter. Anyway, 2015.
Oh, 2015, we got some interesting names on this one. So we got Jameis Winston going number 1 overall.
I mean, that's the Jadeveon Clowney debate right there.
Yeah,
like,
it's very much the same thing.
Yeah, because I don't know, he did bring the Bucs to the playoffs. Yeah, that one's tough.
Also, he's in the 30-30 club, so I mean, you can't fault him for that.
He's the only member of the 30-30 club.
He's the only member. He is the founding member.
He made his own club.
30-30 club. And you can't fault the guy for all of his post-game, talking all that stuff. Happen. It's great.
Oh,
but yeah, we got Marcus Mariota, number 2 overall to the Tennessee Titans.
That one hurts.
Dante Fowler Jr. to the Jaguars, number 3 overall. Oof. Sorry, Tad and Matt, but Kevin White, number 7 overall. I think that's got to be on my list of biggest plus. That just did not work out at all.
So you said Tad and Matt. I think you meant Jay and Matt, but yes,
Jay and Matt, my mistake.
Yeah. Oh man. At first I was like, yeah, who the fuck did we take? Who did we take that year? Oh God, do I want to know?
Let me scroll here. Ooh. He had some productive years, but for a first round talent, I just didn't see him. But also, you're picking at the end of the first round. This is when the Colts were good. Philip Dorsett.
Oh,
receiver out of Miami.
Oh, that one hurts.
Yeah, that's a rough one.
Oh man, I don't know if we're there yet, but honestly, one of the low key biggest busts of all time, Rashad Perriman. Talk about University of Miami receivers.
Rashad Perriman did not work out. Yeah.
God, he didn't do anything. At least Dorsett, like you said, had like some flashes. Like he stuck around there for a while. Like Perriman did nothing.
2016 had a pretty good top 10. So first overall, Jared Goff to the Rams. Second overall, Carson Wentz to the Eagles. Third overall, Joey Bosa to the then San Diego Chargers. Number 4 overall, Ezekiel Elliott to the Cowboys. Number 5 overall, Jalen Ramsey to the Jaguars. Number 6 overall, Ronnie Stanley to the Ravens. Number 7 overall, DeForest Buckner to my Niners, who is now with your Colts. It's still dominating. Number 8, Jack Conklin to the Tennessee Titans. Number 9, Leonard Floyd to the Chicago Bears. And then number 10 is the only one that is the anomaly of the top 10 being like just straight home runs on all of them.
Yeah, I wouldn't call
Eli Apple. Eli Apple to the Giants.
Oh, that oof. Okay, I say Eli Apple. Do you think of him more as a Giant or a Bengal? For some reason, I think of him more as Giant. I think of him more as a Bengal because I feel like when he
follow it up, Ted. To follow it up, you got 2 back-to-back terrible corner picks because right after
was that hold on. Is one of them Denzel Ward? Not Denzel Ward. Who am I thinking of? Is one of them Ohio State corner? Because I think I vaguely remember this.
No. This is a guy out of Florida. Went to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers overall.
Marcus something?
Nope. Vernon Hargreaves.
Vernon Hargreaves, that's right. Vernon Hargreaves the third.
Yep, Vernon Hargreaves the third, yeah. But that's a pretty solid top 10. Like, I mean, outside of Eli Apple, I like really all those names. They've had very productive careers. Also,
I know I only gave you until 2010, so I'm cheating a bit, but low-key, one of the bigger busts of all time that people don't really talk about that you're going to love, Aaron Curry. Man, everyone was saying Aaron Curry was like a can't-miss prospect. Seahawks got him at, 3-4? And everyone was like, oh, like he's a Seahawks leader for the future. And that dude didn't do shit.
Yeah, no, that was pretty bad.
All right.
Games the next year, 2017. All the Thomas, number 3 overall. That did not work. And obviously, Mitchell Trubisky, number 2 overall to the Bears. That didn't work out.
Don't forget the 2-3 trade involved with that.
That is true. So that kind of worked out for the Niners. We did get some compensation, but yes, all the Thomas did not work out at all. Corey Davis, unfortunately, I had so much more promise for this guy, but going number 5 overall to the Titans, I thought that
was early. I liked him. I did like him as a first round receiver, but I thought 5 was way too early for that.
Ooh. John Ross. This was a combine hero because of the speed.
That was an injury thing, though. Injuries derailed his career, but yeah, that's rough.
And then, of course, this is the Patrick Mahomes draft, number 10 overall to the Kansas City Chiefs with a trade up with, unfortunately, a team that just can't beat them, Buffalo.
Damn.
Buffalo traded them this pick so they could get Patrick Mahomes. So,
wow.
Also, this is the Deshaun Watson draft, number 12 overall to Houston Texans.
I remember because that's what haunted the Bears for so long. You could have had Deshaun Watson or Patrick Mahomes, but you took Trubisky over both of them.
Ooh, Niners struck out twice because this is the year we traded up to go at the bottom of the first round again. Reuben Foster. That did not work out at all.
Yeah, didn't he get arrested like 3 times?
He played exceptionally well, so it's like he lived up to the expectations.
I remember,
but yeah, it's all the off the field issues. It's the gun possession. It was just a lot of other things there. But all right, Ted, we'll put a pause on this game for now because
I'm watching
starting up again here.
Yeah, Milroe has not been having a good week, has he?
Yeah, it's been very inconsistent. But Tad, with the new quarterback, this one I think maybe you
good
should
God.
get a good amount of names.
Jesus,
here.
okay.
This is a big school.
How long do I have? This will be more like against the clock than like thinking of names.
Like I said, there's a 45 seconds. You get 45 seconds.
Okay, fuck. I feel like I'm gonna like overload here.
That's sort of the problem with this game, but that's also part of the fun. So, all right, Tad, 45 seconds. Name as many prospects for the University of Alabama. All the former Crimson Tide.
Hold on. Do not hit start yet. Let's set an over under here. Let me check the YouTube comments. Let's see if we even have enough watching to do this.
We have a good amount of viewers. So yeah, I appreciate everybody who's tuning in for the second half here. We're back with the game here. But yeah, I'm curious to see if anybody has any thoughts as far as the over under.
The over under exactly for Alabama players to be named. So we'll give that about, I don't know, 2 minutes and then we'll see. Yeah, man, overload's a real problem here. But no, I mean, it's actually I'm a little mad right now because twice now Yarns has had potential for a good play and he's been robbed of it. Once was because of the penalty and the other is because Milroe threw him short by about 5 yards.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that a lot of people hoped when Jalen Milroe was last year at Alabama was just that with Kalen DeBoer coming over, that maybe he could sort of instill some of that Washington offense that he had that obviously took Washington to a national title. Unfortunately, they lost it. But it's like you hope that sort of dual threat ability, maybe sort of channel a little bit of the Michael Penix there, develop himself as a passer. Because he's an athlete. Like, I mean, he could tuck it, he could run, he could be a very dynamic player with the ball in his hands. But yeah, you also need to develop that passing aspect too. And it's like, that's one of the biggest accolades I could give Lamar Jackson, because when he came into the league, Tad, he was purely just a running quarterback. Like, I mean, he just tucked it. He was willing to run. That's sort of what made his name. I mean, he's still doing that now, but definitely leaps and bounds. He's become so much more better of a passer and a pure quarterback. That's what makes him like, a perennial MVP candidate each and every year now. He's very much on track to possibly win his third one this very year. But just like, that's the biggest thing that you need to see with Jalen Milroe now. It's like through this whole draft process, he needs to develop a lot further as a quarterback, because if he can't, then it's just like, you possibly have to entertain the idea. I remember this happened with Lamar Jackson. A lot of people were like, oh, will you possibly transition to running back or tight end or play another position? They did this with Tebow as well, right? So it's like, you wonder whether somebody will sort of make that same assumption with Jalen Milroe. That's like, if you're not going to make it as a quarterback, maybe we could use it somewhere else. So it's just like, he definitely needs to develop as a passer.
Well, and I think that's a big thing with Milroe in terms of where he's drafted, right? And that's what makes me a little worried for him, is because if I think he goes to, let's say, a Rams, let's say Stafford decides to play another year, and they take Milroe in the second round, and they're like, all right, and McVay sees something there. And he's like, okay, I can teach this kid with one last year with Stafford. Okay,
well,
all of a sudden,
really quickly, we have a big sighting here for our UCLA fans. Oladipo with a very impressive sack here on Milroe, but Milroe with poor pocket awareness, because he did not stand a chance.
No, he did not. I mean, to be fair, off the play action, he had like a second to react to that. I mean, that would have been incredible.
That's fair. But
that was, the dude came
not held up. Oladipo with a very impressive sack there to get on the board for UCLA Bruins.
I'll be interested in watching that back, actually, because one of the guys I think is struggling, but I don't want to definitively say until I can watch the tape back, is the Arizona tackle, whose name I'm not even going to try, but he's been getting a lot of first round interest. And from what I can tell, this American team is letting up a lot of pressure. So I'll be interested to see how much of that is, his fault. But going back to Jalen Milroe, if he goes to like a Rams or, I don't know, like a Seahawks or something where like you don't need to start right away, we can buy you a year or two, I think his chances of success skyrocket compared to what I've seen a lot of people mocking him to the Jets or the Raiders of like, hey, this is our third guy. Then he's going to bust because it's too much pressure. Like right off the bat. And he does not, as of now, he does not have the skill set to meet those expectations. I have no idea where that guy is from.
Well, we brought this up earlier,
Purple
Chad.
Bear.
This is one of the small school prospects that I talked about that could have an impressive showing. It's been looking pretty good through Senior Bowl practice. That's David Walker, the edge rusher out of Central Arkansas. So yeah, he's got a very.
I meant to look up their. I meant to look up their mascot earlier. South Central Arkansas mascot. It's a purple bear. So his name is Bruce D. Bear.
Pretty
good.
Gotta love these mascot names.
Yeah, so I guess they're just the Bears. They're women's teams are named the Sugar Bears.
That's borderline like sexist or like that
feels like one of those things from the 50s that we just kind of forgot about.
That should not have continued to this day and age. Like that's a very I don't know if I like that one as much.
It's kind of like being at a TCU game and the cheerleaders come out and they're like, "You're TCU Showgirls," and you're like, "Oh."
Was that really what they're called? The Showgirls?
Oh, I'm dead to the Showgirls, and you're just like a part of you is just like, that doesn't.
Yeah, Sugar Bears.
Sugar Bears. Ooh,
that's a hard one to swallow.
I am so glad he made that sack so we could make that discovery.
That is fair. That is fair. I like that little nugget that we got there, Ted. All right, so
anyway, all right.
Game. We're at a commercial break here.
Did we get any responses on YouTube?
We did not get any predictions from the panel here.
Let's say
what we think it's going to be, but
8.5.
I feel like under 11.5.
Oh, fuck you. 11,
I think you can name quite a few because Alabama's a big program. There's a lot of big names there.
All right.
I think this should be the school that you'll get the most out of because, you set the bar.
That is 100% true.
You set the bar with Oregon with 9. Louisville, you got 4. Notre Dame, you ended up getting 3, I think, with Notre Dame, if I remember correctly. Or 4.
Notre Dame
3 or 4 there. Ole Miss, you named quite a few. I think you got 7 there. So, but I think Alabama's where you're going to set your mark with this game.
Yeah. No, or at least
it'll be the one to beat.
Okay.
All right. Ready?
Yep.
Go.
Tua, Jalen Hurts, AJ McCarron. Who's the other guy? AJ McCarron, Greg McElroy, Evan Ingram, or no, not Evan Ingram. He was Ole Miss. Shut up. OJ Howard, Calvin Ridley, Minka Fitzpatrick, Jonah Williams, Andre Smith, Ryan Kelly, D. Milliner, Derrick Henry, Trent Richardson. Does Alvin Kamara count?
No.
Damn it. TJ Yeldon.
There you go.
Oh God. Mark Ingram. I feel like I'm forgetting another big receiver. Julio Jones. I have to be close to that time. Okay, Jesus Christ.
Now you're done.
Okay, there we go.
You had like another couple seconds, but for some reason you stopped.
I don't know. I ran out. What did I get at?
16.
There we go. All right.
I have to double check Ryan Kelly because I didn't realize he went.
Yeah, Ryan Kelly. Nope, he was a Crimson Tide. Looked up.
I'm looking it up right now. That's the only one I wanted.
I feel like there's another. Who's a big like Alabama offensive lineman I'm missing? I feel like I've missed.
But yeah, Ryan Kelly is there. So yeah, 16. Very, very impressive number there.
Thank you.
What'd you say? What was your question?
I feel like I'm forgetting like a big Alabama.
Oh, Devontae Smith. You missed that one.
Devontae Smith. That's a big one.
I also missed Jerry Jeudy.
Yes, I knew there were receivers I was forgetting.
Okay, someone came in a little bit late, but somebody said 13. So you beat the 13, so not bad.
Okay. I'll take
JC Latham was just drafted by the Titans 7th overall in last year's draft.
Looks solid. I said Andre Smith.
Missed that one. Will Anderson, the number 2 overall.
Oh, that's a bad miss. That is a bad miss. I should have had that.
Also, when you were going through your running back list, I thought you'd hit on Josh Jacobs and Jahmyr Gibbs, but you missed
Josh Jacobs. I knew all right. So this is why I asked about Alvin Kamara, because at one point the depth chart was, if I'm not mistaken, Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs, Alvin Kamara.
It's possible
on the same Alabama roster.
No,
and that's why Kamara ended up going to Tennessee.
But it's the same thing as to why, we're not counting Joe Burrow as an Ohio State Buckeye. He finished at LSU, right? So it's like
Alabama fans, if I hear one more time of like Jalen Hurts at the Super Bowl should say he came from OU and Alabama. Shut up. He's not Dylan Gabriel. You can't have 3 schools. Shut up, Dylan.
Ooh, you also forgot Alex Leatherwood.
Is that who I was thinking of? God damn, who did he get drafted? Was he an AFC South guy that who drafted him?
No, he's drafted by the Raiders, remember? 17th overall, and we were both like, it's way too high for him.
Yeah, no, I mean, I remember not liking him at all. I was just trying to remember like who drafted him. And clearly we were both correct.
Oh, jeez.
Also,
yeah, not bad. 16. I think that's the mark to beat. We still have a couple other quarterbacks obviously left in the game to get more from this fun game that we've been playing here. But
oh, and
yeah,
trust me, I have one coming up for you in a bit. But real quick, hold on. You just filibuster this for me because if I'm not mistaken, I swear to God, if YouTube gives me ads here, I'm gonna be so mad.
It's a commercial, or is this something that?
No, this is coming from me.
Okay.
This anthem's a lot longer than I thought.
Oh, this should be fun, Tad, because we do have a quarterback change for the national team.
Is this not the Canadian?
This is the Canadian, yeah.
Okay, so well, there we go. Yeah, okay.
I just want to make sure. I was like, wait, like I heard it through Patreon.
You made me so worried there for a second, but yes, anyway.
Yeah, no. This is the Canadian. This is the Canuck Cannon is the nickname that I've heard.
Oh, that's great. I love that.
But yeah, we have the quarterback. I tried to pull up the name here. Where is it? Taylor Elgersma out of Wilfrid Laurier, Laurier, excuse me, because it is a French school name, apparently.
It's not LaCroix, it's LaCroix.
Yeah. Is Laurier. So yeah, he is a Canadian school invitee for the Senior Bowl this year. I watched tape of this guy, Ted. Actually, there's a lot to like about him. I know you probably didn't. I think the biggest thing that's going to be interesting to see is that playing in the college football level, that's obviously translating to college football, like the CFL rules. So the fields are wider. It's a little bit more of a spread open attack. You got the motion that like the receiver can sort of run up to the line and then pursue. So it's like they got that sort of running start there. So it's like a lot of these things played to the advantage of like this spread offense. Also, Ted, all the tape that I watched, defense was like non-existent. Like seriously, like Elgersma literally could just pick and choose where he wanted to go. He can make one read looks and he can fit the receiver wide open in stride. He's scoring a lot of touchdowns.
It's just like, hey, excuse me, hey. You're just like, oh, go ahead.
It very much looked like a 7-on-7 drill. Like it did not seem like any sort of defense was being played. There's no pass rush. He had all the time in the world to make all the passes that he wanted. But yeah, I think that's the worry that I sort of have with Laurier, with Elgersma out of Laurier. Just like you see a lot of these things, it's like, you know, he's got a big body, he's got a good arm, you get the ball down the field, both with the strength as well as the accuracy. But just, yeah, he's playing the spread open attack. So he's not going to translate to any offense in the NFL. So it's like, you know, a West Coast offense or primarily under center offense, you have to be able to sort of develop that skill through the draft process here. But I do know that the NFL is going towards that more modern shift where it's like more pistol formation, more shotgun formation. So it may suit him a little bit, but he needs that sort of spread open, you know, pass aired out sort of attack in order to succeed quickly in the NFL. If there's a team out there that sort of wants him to succeed quickly there. But just, yeah, a few of the things that I sort of saw is that on some of the longer developing throws, a little bit of his anticipation is not there. Like, I mean, like I said, playing at the CFL level, it's like these guys were wide open, but it's like at the next level, you got to be able to hit those tight windows. There's a lot of like deep shots. There's a lot of just one read making the throw there. It just wasn't a lot of just things where it's just like, yeah, developing as a pure like quarterback at the next level as far as like, you know, going through your progression. You did see him looking off some safety so he could find some open receivers deep down the second half of the field there. But just, yeah, I just worry about that transition. That's the biggest thing. He needs to land in the right situation if he wants to find success.
Two things. One, so I looked up while you were talking if he was going to be at the combine. He is.
I like to think so, yeah.
Well, no, just not the NFL combine.
Okay, got it. Okay.
He is, however, expected to appear at the CFL combine.
Oh, Chad, we got a proposal at the Senior Bowl. That's the first time that's ever happened, or at least I've ever seen. So,
oh, did I miss that? No, I missed
yeah.
Wow. Just proposing the Senior Bowl. Good. Hope you live till you're seniors. Anyway, point being, so second question. Wow, that got morbid by me. But second question. So, will he be drafted? Especially now with the knowledge that he's not going to be thrown at the combine. I think that's that really hurts.
I think he's 100% going to be like late day 3 if he gets drafted, or most likely he's probably going to
priority free agent.
Yeah, I think that's probably exactly where he's going to sit. Because like I said, he needs to sort of land in the right system. So it's like, oh, Oladacia with another.
I was just about to ask you what this guy's name was again. He is him and Landon Jackson, man. He's got good size. What is it? Do you have his measurements on you? Because that, I mean,
Oladejo?
yeah.
Let me see if I got that down.
He is a tall man. That's scary.
No, I don't have his measurements, but I can look it up.
Please do, because goddamn, that's terrifying. Yeah, Riley Leonard can't get feeling him quite yet.
6'3", 250.
There's no way he's only 6'3".
I mean,
I'm
pretty sure he's going to get a combine invite. He's pretty sure he's getting a combine invite, so look at the combine measurements.
But if the measurements you're looking at come from the school, that like those are probably like over what he's actually at. Like,
no, this is from Wikipedia. This is not from the school. I can look it up on the school
site. Wikipedia gets it from the schools.
Yeah, looking at it on the school site, it's the same thing. 6'3", 250.
Yeah. What's concerning, this is going to be interesting from an offensive line perspective, because neither one of these teams' offensive lines have been doing particularly well. And the worrying thing about that, you're not allowed to blitz in this game.
There's no blitzing in these college
that's
ball,
what I mean.
games.
Is you're not allowed to blitz. Not like only like, oh, you're only allowed to blitz once a drive. No, like you're not allowed to blitz whatsoever yet. How many quarterback hits have we seen throughout this game? Like
that's a pass Miller should have made. That's a pass Miller should have made. Like, I mean, just to shortchange the receiver there on a crossing route. It's a very simple throw. Just like he shortchanged him. It's just like, you can't do that.
Oh, Alabama punter too. How about that? But yeah, no, I mean, I think so far, that's a good question for you too. I want to hear, I know it's kind of hard to do the eyeball test, but so far losers, I would say, unless he, fixes it in the next 4 minutes until he likely gets switched out. Milroe, I would say offensive line of both teams. And right now, those are really the only two big. I would say probably Jackson Dart, but he got kind of bailed out with that penalty. So maybe that doesn't stick. But yeah, Milroe and Dart, not good outings.
I'll take it one step further. I don't think quarterback play was good at all in this game. Because, I mean, you also look at the touchdown that happened. It was a pass interception by Ollie Gordon. It wasn't even the quarterback that threw the pass.
Well, right? and that's
I know Jackson Dart rushed in for that touchdown. So, I mean, that was a little impressive there. But just like overall, just the quarterback play has not been stellar in the game so far.
Well, and, I threw out my hands when it happened. But that across the middle pass, I think like the third play of the entire game to Jack Besh from Riley Leonard. Great catch by Besh. You do that, and in fact, it's very reminiscent of a play I know you're very familiar with. That reminds me of, I don't know who the quarterback was at the time, the Jets quarterback threw it to Brad Smith, and Brad Smith got decapitated because, he was just across the middle. It was kind of it wasn't like a complete floater, but it was just enough where Patrick Willis saw what happened. And by the way, if you think I'm like exaggerating, had Brad Smith not been wearing a helmet, I legitimately think his head might have been like knocked clean off his shoulders.
He got laid out. He definitely did.
Like that one hit essentially ended that man's career.
If that happened in college football today, he would have been ejected. Like, I mean,
he would have been suspended for the season. Like, it was I know everyone focuses on the Antonio Brown one, which is also very brutal, but like to me, that Brad Smith, because it's not just the head, but the back too. Like, you're just like everything. Ugh.
He fell backwards in a very awkward way too. Like, yeah, it was.
Like, oh god,
yeah, it was a very big hit.
Point being is that type of pass from Riley Leonard kind of set Jack Besh up for that type of hit in the NFL. So even like, yes, that was a good completion. That wasn't like a completion that really helps your case.
But I think also you look at the other long completion to Jack Besh, where it's like he had to bail out.
That was a contested catch. Yes, no, that was a horrible.
Like, that was just an impressive catch by Jack Besh. Yeah. So it's like it wasn't a good throw. Like it was
double coverage. That's what made it. No, that's what made it a good catch. It's like, oh my god, he got it through double coverage, and yeah, no, he absolutely. I like the usage you used there is bailed out. He absolutely bailed out. Was that Leonard on that throw?
I believe that was Riley Leonard, if I remember correctly.
Also, speaking of past Senior Bowl winners, both you and I called Quinn Miners, who they're highlighting right now. That was a guy. Both you and I
too.
Oh, Cody Mock. Is he a Bronco?
No, he's with the Bucks.
Or Cody Mock. Okay, sorry. So no. Wait. So I got Cody Mock and Quinn Miners mixed up. My bad. They're both white guys. They're both white guys with long hair who play offensive line that came from North Dakota State. That is a very specific niche.
That's fair. Yeah, so I think for me, like I said, just overall quarterback play has not been all that stellar in this game. So they're probably like, a semi-loser, I'd probably say, in this game. As far as winners are concerned, I mean, Jack Besh is definitely making a name for himself in this game. So I mean, that's definitely one for sure. Also, you look at Oladipo.
Wait. Go back. Say it again, but just slower.
I think the other one is Oladipo. I mean, he's definitely been making a name for himself this past quarter, just, getting into the backfield with, the aggressiveness that we were talking about earlier. So it's like, yeah, he could definitely help himself with his stock as we go to the next couple of months here. But yeah, Tad, who do you think would be a winner in your eyes as far as,
like I said, Landon Jackson should be the MVP.
He's been
Landon
having a very
Jackson's
impressive game.
Killing it. Terms of I will say, I'm going to kind of just take your question and go in another tangent. But yes, Landon Jackson, I think, is my easy pick for winner.
Okay.
One guy that I had highlighted that I was like, you need to make a name for yourself. Otherwise, you're going to start slipping, because he kind of disappeared as the season went on, because this was a hot prospect to start the season. That's Xavier Restrepo, the receiver out of Miami.
Wide receiver out of Miami.
I mean, you look at his stats from this year, all career highs across the board in terms of receptions. He had over 1,000 yards, 11 touchdowns. But like I said, you also look at the game logs of that. A lot of that production came in the first 8 games. And then you also saw that kind of happen in Miami season. Those last 4 or 5 weeks, they kind of fell apart. That's when they lost to Syracuse. That's when they lost to Georgia Tech. And that's when, like I said, and that's really where Cam Ward's Heisman, hopes crumbled as well. And Estrepo was one of those guys that was Ward's top target, but wasn't consistent enough. So I wanted to see today, can you be like a Luke Caffrey type, where like you're a good slot receiver that I can develop over the long term? He has not done anything at all today. So I think Restrepo is like one of those guys that, like, come day 3 of the draft, that a lot of people are going to be like, I can't believe Restrepo's still on the board. And I'm going to be sitting there like, I absolutely saw this coming. Because I think there are a lot of inconsistencies, and I don't think he's going to test off the boards physically. I don't think he's going to do horribly. I just don't think he's going to blow anyone away, and that's a perfect formula for priority free agent.
So really quick, Tad, Elgersman's in the team in the game still, and I don't know if you saw that pass that he just threw, but that's the reason why a lot of scouts are excited by him, because he threw that pass, he dropped it in a bucket, he had the receiver deep open, but he also faded it to the sideline, so in case the arm strength wasn't there, the defender didn't have a chance to swat it away. But luckily, the defender was still trailing him. So it's like he dropped it right to the receiver's hands, was able to make a very impressive catch. But like that deep throw, that accuracy there to sort of, like I said, drop it right to the receiver's hands on a deep shot. That's why a lot of scouts are excited by it.
It's normally something I'd text you, but next commercial break, kick it to me, because I have a fun game to play against you. But no, I think this is going to be interesting. Well, and this is what's fun about the Senior Bowl, is it gives guys like that you would never find in your life. Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, this is where I first found Marte Mapu, who is...
Yeah, I remember this is when we were doing our scouting for the Senior Bowl. Marte Mapu was one of those guys. Sacramento State.
I didn't even know, and I swear to God, this is true. I didn't even know Sacramento State. Oh, look, Woody Marks going to make a catch and bounce. I don't know why. All the bits.
Endearing yourself further and further for all these USC Trojan fans that are joining us on the broadcast here today.
All the bits that developed throughout today, of like, I don't know why this is the one, but screw it. I'm going to stick with it. All right.
We look at Gray Zabel. He's able to hold the block pretty well there to give Elgersma time there. So.
But anyway, going back to why the Senior Bowl is so special is I'm not even lying. I didn't know Sacramento State was even a school until Mapu came along. And now I know a lot of people are like, who the hell's Marte Mapu? Because he's not like the defensive difference maker the Patriots might have hoped. That man is a special teams monster. He is all over the place. Like, he is of course I'm going to name another Patriot, because that's what they do, is produce special teams guys, but he's the Matthew Slater of guys where you constantly see his name. Like, how is Matthew Slater still in the league 10 years? Exactly. That's my point. It's just like, if you're really good with special teams, you stick around for a while. And that's, Mapu might have never been given that chance, because he was another guy, played in the Senior Bowl, did not participate in the combine. So, a big performance now. And like you said with Engelman, is that how you say it?
Elgersma.
Oh my God, I wasn't even close.
That's not even close, my friend.
Engelman. I think that's the name of one of my dad's former business partners. Anyway, point being is...
Okay.
Say Elgersma?
Elgersma.
Oh, God. The Canadian. Ryan Reynolds. Yeah. We'll call him Ryan Reynolds. So, Yeah, like 1 or 2 impressive throws, that could be the difference maker where, you're like I said before, you're the Chiefs sitting there with the second to last 7th round pick, or even better, Mr. Relevant. And you just go, hey, let's invest in this Canadian kid to potentially help us if Patrick ever gets hurt. And there you go.
The next
But by the way,
it's possible.
I don't understand why more teams don't do that, right? Develop long-term backup quarterbacks. You're saving yourselves like at least $500,000. And like, let's be real. If most team starters go out, you're pretty screwed anyways. So that's just not it. It's the same thing as like, if I was an NFL coach, I would 100% have a backup kicker on my roster every day.
You stand pat on this one. And actually it's, I strongly agree with that one, especially the way the Niners season went with all of our kicker issues.
Yeah. How is Jake Moody still employed? Kicker. I thought for sure I was going to wake up that Monday with Jake Moody got cut and be like, yeah, sorry, man.
Well, offseason hasn't officially started yet. I mean, unofficially, it's off-season started for the Niners, but officially hasn't started until middle of March. So.
It's officially started for 30 of us.
But yeah, we just had a field goal by the national team by the Florida State kicker, Ryan Fitzgerald. He actually had a pretty good kick on that one. It went through the goalpost pretty easily. He had some good distance on it as well. So, but yeah, I don't think we have a lot of notes on the special teamers unless you do, Tad.
No.
Okay.
All right, but since I guess this is a quasi-commercial break, let me flip turn the tables. Oh my, how the turntables have turned. But anyway, that was a great reference. How the turntable, I forgot.
Yeah, you didn't even give it right.
But yeah, because it's so dumb. I can't even get it right.
Yeah, that's fair. It's fair. Did you really say that? It's like, yeah, he did.
The turntables. Props to Mike, sure, because yeah, that's a great line. But anyway. All right, so obviously I'm not going to ask you a name where every alumni of this, of Ryan Reynolds' alma mater, because I'm sure he's probably the first. So I will give you, how long did you give me?
45 seconds.
45 seconds. Okay, you have 45 seconds. Can you name more than, let's say, 10 Canadians?
Like just Canadians in general?
Just Canadians in general. And no, it can't be my buddy Matt. Like, no, it has to be like someone we can all verify is Canadian.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see.
All right. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
Martin Short, Ryan Reynolds, Taylor L. Gillishma. We'll go with that one.
Yeah.
Trying to think of anybody else that's. I don't pay a lot of attention to like pop culture stuff. That remember where people went from our.
You are forgetting one massive one. Like, I mean, this guy.
I'm pretty sure I am, but just like,
this guy got ripped for being Canadian.
Celine Dion.
Is she Canadian? I thought she was French, but okay, same thing. You were missing one massive one, dude.
I'm pretty sure I am. Like I said, this is not something that I'm good at.
3, 2, 1, 4. All right, this is your Notre Dame of countries.
And I'm not shy about it. Like, yeah, this is not something I know.
Dude, Justin Bieber.
Yeah, that's good.
People ripped him for being Canadian.
That's true.
You did say Ryan Reynolds. He also Gretzky. Is he Canadian?
That would make sense. I'm pretty sure he is.
Yeah, I assumed he was Canadian. I'm not sure. I was just going to start listing off hockey players, and then I realized my first pick would have been TJ Oshie, whose nickname is literally Captain America. So I was like, yeah, that would not end well for me.
Can't do that.
No.
All right, Ted, I'm very curious how you're going to do on this one because we do have another quarterback change. We're at a commercial break because we just had the end of the third quarter here. But yeah, in at the quarterback position now is the Memphis quarterback, Seth Hennigan. So yeah, I'm very curious to see whether you can beat that 4 with Notre Dame with Memphis. This one's going to be pretty tricky. This one's going to be tricky.
There's a running back. Who's a running back? Okay, all right. I can't overthink this because I only have a couple guys in my head. All right, ready?
Let me pull up the timer, and I'm good to go when you are.
Okay, go. Calvin Austin, right? That was the name of the guy?
Yep.
Okay, so Calvin Austin, Paxton Lynch, oh, God. See, and I knew this was going to happen. I had a guy in my head, and now he's completely gone. Derrick Rose.
Sorry, we're only doing NFL.
Damn it!
You did get it right, but we're only doing NFL.
James Wiseman. For what, 2 games?
3 games, but yeah. They're showing Super Bowl commercial.
God.
There's a guy from Memphis that playing in the Super Bowl.
See, it's the running back, isn't it? It's
Yes, it is.
Oh, who is it? Who's in the Super Bowl again?
It's a very appropriate name for the position he plays.
Calvin running back?
No. It is a running back. It is a running back.
It's not Edwards-Helaire. It's not. Oh my
All right,
God.
you're right at that time.
Son of a bitch.
You got 2.
I'm going to be so mad when you tell me.
Paxton Lynch and Calvin Austin.
Oh, Kenneth Gainwell.
Kenneth Gainwell. Yes, Kenneth Gainwell. But a couple other running backs.
I hate this game.
Tony Pollard went to the University of Memphis.
Pollard's the one I was trying to think of.
Antonio Gibson went to the University of Memphis.
Oh, shit, maybe it was him.
And then former wide receiver. I have a lot of promise for this guy, but just unfortunately didn't materialize. Anthony Miller. I don't know if you remember him.
Was he the Chicago receiver?
He was. He was drafted by the Chicago Bears in the 2nd round.
Whoa.
51st overall pick. So like I said, I remember watching him during the draft process. I was like, I think this guy could be good, but just unfortunately just never materialized.
That's why I'm laughing. I'm like, man, Bears fans have had
got a couple kickers from Memphis, Tad. You got Riley Patterson.
Oh, see that. Wait, I thought Riley Patterson is no, I'm thinking Zach McPherson. My bad.
And then another Super Bowl player, the Super Bowl kicker.
Jake Elliott?
Jake Elliott. Yes, he went
to Memphis. Really?
He went to Memphis.
That I did not know. Also, more poor O-line. Oh, no. Actually, okay. Interesting question for you there. Who do you blame? Center or quarterback?
Let me look at the play here. Ooh.
Looks like coaches are, no, you gave him. Oh, no, that's the defensive side. Never mind.
It's tough. I probably
chalk it
on the center. I probably chalk it on the center. But this is some of the common struggles. Like, we'll get to this in a little bit here, but I watched the East-West Shrine game, and this is a common thing that they were talking about, where it's just like these offensive linemen have to gel like within a week.
Yeah.
And also these centers have to gel with the quarterback as well, like very quickly as well. So it's like, you're not used to like, do they show, they're mentioning on the broadcast, it's like some centers, they go a little bit farther with their, handoffs. Some go a little bit shorter. It's like, you only pick that up when you're practicing with a guy day in and day out for like over the course of like a couple months, not a couple days. And so it's like, but yeah, I think in this case, you just want to, I think that one's on the center, but it's tough in either way. It's hard.
So
it's hard.
Two things on that. One is an actual response. The other is
Steven Gostkowski went to Memphis.
What?
Yeah, looks like Memphis is kicker university.
Wow,
kickers.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. Memphis Hall of Fame is just a bunch of kickers, apparently. Just Adam Vinatieri.
Kickers, you go to Memphis.
Adam Vinatieri and Justin Tucker's like the Eric Andre meme of like, let me in.
But also former Panthers great D'Angelo Williams. He also went to Memphis.
I actually didn't know that. But no, go back to the center thing. See, I actually go the opposite direction where
because Rams of legend, Ted. Rams legend. Isaac Bruce went to Memphis.
What?
Isaac Bruce is was a former Tiger before he was a Ram. And former Niner as well.
Ram, shut up. But no, go back to your side. I blame him more on the quarterback. I think he has more control over that stuff. But as
that
you
is
said,
true. I can see that.
But it's exactly like as you point out. I think everyone's going to kind of focus on that and be like, oh, was this the big mess up? But like, it's the same thing as throwing at the combine, where people are like, if you miss a throw, that will really screw. When coaches and coaches have come out year after year and year said this of like, if you miss a throw at the combine, we get it. This is like your second day passing this guy. Yeah. It's the same thing here where it's like, yeah, if you mess up 1 or 2 snaps, we get it. Now, if you're doing it on every snap, then all of a sudden they're like,
that's a problem.
This is an issue. But yeah, like that snap did not cost the center nor the quarterback any draft stock. Just interested to see. But now, speaking of center, one interesting change, I'm not sure if you noticed. Do you see where Zappell's playing right now? North Dakota State kid?
Did they move him to tackle?
No.
Oh, he's playing center now?
He's playing center now. So interesting coaching decision. So he played guard in the first half, and now apparently they're sticking with him at center. So looking like this NFL coaching staff is kind of saying, like what I said earlier, he was a tackle for most of the time at college, but if he's going to be a pro, you got to move on the inside.
I think the big thing that they do with a lot of interior linemen is they want to test him at center because, like, then you have that swing rotation on either guard spot plus the center, right? It's like in case you have an emergency situation where somebody goes down, that's like, okay, we can shift this guy inside, bring up a backup that can only play guard and things like that. So it's like, yeah, for guys that are willing to do that, this is not only going to help your stock as you're going through the draft process as well, but just like, yeah, that's just going to help you stay on a roster once you get to the NFL level too, right?
Well, and I think the interesting thing about him playing on the inside as well is he has very, very good speed for an offensive lineman. And so that makes, if you do move into guard or center, him that much more dangerous on pulling plays, which makes him, like you said, that much more valuable to the NFL teams. Kind of it's being a good pulling guard or being a good pulling center is, like we said, that's you being the Matthew Slater of offensive linemen, where you're like, before you know it, it's 31 years old, you're playing Madden 2035, and you're like, Zabel still in the league? Like, how's that possible? Like, that's how.
Yeah.
Right there. I was gonna bring up one more thing. So on the national team, is that Zach Zinter at 74, the West Carolina guy? I did not know he was in this game.
Well, they're showing the highlights of the touchdown version. So we have the national team now up 19-8 in this game because of the field goal as well as the turnover, which then led to the touchdown.
Real quick, could you just imagine? Also, please pull up the national team roster because my computer's not loading. But could you imagine being one of the Senior Bowl kickers and you're just like, oh, come on, just give me the give me the extra point. Like, come on.
No, this is actually really funny. I think this is actually a good time to speak about the East-West Shrine game because that actually came up in the East-West Shrine game a little bit. So let me just pull up the notes that I have here on the East-West Shrine game.
Look up 74. He was wearing number 74.
So Thursday, Tad, was the 100th version of the East-West Shrine games. So we're at the 100 year. So we're at the anniversary there. Big milestone there. We had our first shutout in the game since 1969. In 1969, nice. The West won the game 15-0. This game that just happened on Thursday, the 100th version, the East team this time won 25-0. The offensive MVP was Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt, the running back from Arizona/New Mexico. He rushed for 11 times, ran for 97 yards, and scored 2 touchdowns in the game. So he was definitely a firepower in that game. And the defensive MVP was O'Donnell Fortune, the defensive back from South Carolina.
That is an A+ name.
It's a
draft that guy on his name just alone. It's like that Notre Dame kid with the Chinese nameplate. Like, just get on my team, dude.
Pretty solid. 2 pass breakups, 1 tackle. He also had an interception, which was returned for a touchdown. Now, the interesting thing that I want to talk about this game, Tad, because like I said, they're pitching a shutout. And the funny thing about that was that the East coach, like the very first day of practice, he posted on the whiteboard or like the chalkboard or bulletin board or whatever it is, that's like, we're pitching a shutout. And so it's like through practice, he was sort of ingrading, he's sort of calling his shot. And throughout the game, it was going in that direction. That's like they're pitching a shutout. Obviously, they ended a shutout. But towards the end of the game, Tad, this is where it got very interesting. So I think there's like maybe 3 minutes left in the game.
No, I know where you're going with this. Anyway, keep going.
3 minutes left in the game. The broadcast crew throws a jinx on the game. That's like, oh yeah, they have it locked up. It's going to be a shutout. They go to the sideline reporter who is Jane Slater, who covers the Dallas Cowboys for the NFL. She's doing the sideline reporting. She talks to the coaches on the sideline for the East team. It's like, oh, hey, the crew just did a broadcast jinx on you. It's like, hey, if we lose this, it's because of the broadcast, not because of us. So that was a fun joke there. But towards the end there, you have the West team. They're driving in that game down the field. They're like maybe at the halfway. They're at the midfield. They're making a few plays. They're causing a few penalties that makes them fall back. They're sort of like fringe field goal range. There's about 30 seconds left in the game. They go for a field goal. It's a 55-yard field goal.
Oh, okay. I thought we were talking like a 30-yard chipper.
No. This is a 55-yard field goal. So there is some rough. Like, it's a little bit dicey there. But yeah, they wanted to make sure that they wasn't going to get a shutout. So it's like, that's why they went for the field goal instead of trying to go for a touchdown. He misses the field goal, obviously, because that's how the game ends.
Was it like
a
shutout? Miss or
it was like, it wasn't a bad miss. It wasn't like a complete shank job, but he had the distance. It just unfortunately went wide left.
Hey, as long as you got the distance, if I was a GM, I'd be like, hey, if you can get it there, I'll take my chances.
But it's a funny thing that we're talking about here where it's like the Senior Bowl, you're sort of joking where it's like, if you're a kicker, you're not getting any opportunities here. So like that was another opportunity where it's like, they're sort of joking about it on the broadcast. They're just like, oh, well, hey, you got to give the kicker a little bit of love because there's no extra points. They're all going for 2. That's the new rule for both these bowl games. And so it's like there's no field goal opportunity. So it's like give the guy a chance. It's like you said, so it's like you see the distance there. And just, yeah, unfortunately, he missed the kick. It ended in a shutout there. But just I'm curious on your thoughts there. Like if you were coaching for the West Side that obviously ended up getting shut out, do you try and break the shutout by like going for the touchdown and like going for it that way? Like even if you're on like 4th down, or do you take the route that they went in this game and try and get the field goal to break the shutout?
It depends. Are we, and I know I'm taking this hypothetical way too far, but are we going
bad sack there on the
are we saying this is like, am I the coach in the East-West Shrine Bowl game, or am I a coach? Hold on. Or is this the same situation where, like, let's say it's a playoff game. I know my season's over anyways. Like, what am I doing?
Give me both, actually, because that was sort of the reaction they were giving on the broadcast. And they were like talking about, I guess, the Apple Cup. I guess it was a very similar situation. So it's like break up the shutout in the Apple Cup. Like they kept bringing up that reference. I didn't understand the reference at all. I don't know if it happened recently or it was like a
Apple Cup sounds like the rivalry between Washington and Washington State for all I know.
That's exactly what it is.
Oh, is that what it is? There's no way it's called the Apple Cup.
I swear to God.
There's an Apple Cup.
It may not be Washington State, but there is an Apple Cup. Like, I mean, there's a reason why they were making.
I think it's an Apple-themed rivalry, but I don't think it's called the Apple Cup. Apple Cup. Jesus.
It is. No, it's Washington State. They play for the Apple Cup.
Okay, they play for the Apple Cup, but what is the actual rivalry named?
The Apple Cup rivalry.
Oh, that's lame. That's terrible.
Battle for the Apple Cup. Like, I mean, that's the only thing that I've sort of seen.
That's awful. That's god awful. Come on. You two can do actually, what am I talking about? No, you can't. You're Washington State.
But yeah, so but they're talking about that. But yeah, so give me your reaction for like what would you do in that situation, both in that situation for the East-West Shrine game or Senior Bowl, whatever it is, and then like in an actual, like, let's say a bowl game, championship game, whatever it is, like that sort of thing.
Yeah, like, shrine game, exhibition game. No, I'm not going for the field goal because who gives a shit about the score? You could ask me, Tad, name name one score from the last 5 Senior Bowls or however many we've live streamed. I'm not even sure if I could answer that 30 minutes after any said live stream.
That's fair.
Like, none of us care about the score. So yeah, I avoided the shit. Who gives a shit? I'm putting, 4th down, go for it to put the most kids I can in an opportunity to look good. Hey, you need this really athletic tackle to run around during a Hail Mary. Here's my kid. So I would have gone for it on 4th. Now, if it's a playoff game, and again, I'm down 25-0. I know I'm going to have beer bottles thrown at me, getting off the plane, going home. Fuck yeah, I'll screw with the spread. Let's kick that field goal. like at that point, you're going to lose. And it's just like, let's just screw with as many people as possible as just one last FU of the season. That's hilarious. Of course, that's when I would go full anarchy. When it affects no one else but my own humor, I will always cheer for chaos in that situation.
I guess for me, I would do vice versa. So it's like if I was already getting blown out in another game, that's where I'd go for it on 4th down to potentially restrict the score that way, really mess with the spread that way more with a touchdown compared to a field goal. Whereas like if I was in the bowl game, like the East-West Shrine Game or Senior Bowl, I want to give the kicker a little bit of a chance to sort of showcase his leg in this case. So it's like because throughout the draft process, the kickers and the special teamers probably don't get as much love as all these position players, right? So it's like they have a lot more opportunities to showcase their skills through the combine, through pro days, where it's like special teamers. I'm sure they have a section during pro days and the combine where it's like they showcase their skills. But it's like, yeah, I feel like here you got to see the you got to see the leg power there. You got to see maybe he was close on the accuracy there. So it's like that's more of what I want to see than in the bowl game.
Well, and it's funny, as soon as you brought that up, it kind of made me recognize, why we have different responses, right?
Why?
Because you and I have a core philosophical difference on one of the main draft questions. And before you say anything, let me just say, for any new viewers, listeners, watchers, welcome to the Desai Guys Football Forum, where we talk fantasy football during the season, and we are the draft guys in the offseason. Now, as a new viewer and listener, there are a couple of rules you should know. As draft experts, we firmly stand by these rules. And rule number 1, don't draft a kicker. Don't do it. Notice how I said kicker, because there's only one exception to the don't draft a punter rule. Do you know what that exception is?
His name is Tory Taylor.
His name is goddamn Tory Taylor. If he is there, you would take that man immediately. Other than that, you don't draft a punter. But if Tory Taylor is there, you take Tory Taylor. I don't even care if it is the same Tory Taylor or not. Just draft Taylor. Yeah, just take Tory the second.
Yeah, as a Colts fan, you probably wish you had Tory Taylor.
I don't give a shit. We just punt the ball. I wish we had anything. But anyway, point being is, I can empathize with, hey, let's give these guys a shot. But yeah, it's just all things I could see in June, rookie OTAs anyway. So it's just like, I'm not going to stress about it right now.
All right, fair. Oh, we got another double pass here. And it works again. The running back / wide receiver pass works again. We have another touchdown through the double pass there. So the American team now scores a touchdown with the double pass.
Some lucky bastard in Vegas gets 0 passing touchdowns by a quarterback in this game and is about to make like $10 million off like a $10 bet. Wow. Who's that? That was a terrible job. That's going to be an interesting play to look back on. Well, because that's the funny thing too, is because notice how my instinct was who's that corner? When in reality, that could have very well been the safety's fault. And I need to go back and look at that.
That's true.
But that always just strikes me as funny is when people are just like, this corner is terrible. And then he goes to a new team. And they're like, wait, what happened? It's like, he actually has help like up top.
One coverage he maybe expected to have coverage on the backside. And that's why he let him go. So yeah, definitely you have to look at the play overall.
So let's see. Okay. My guess is, and again, this is hard to tell from this angle. It's just my guess is with the trick play, that's probably the safety's fault. I bet you the safety bit on that, thinking it was a screen pass. And
so you can kind of see on this replay here, number 18, who I think is the safety on that play, he bit in for the run. And so it's like he's fully committing there. And then, yeah, that's why I think then the cornerback was a little bit too late to realize.
Yeah, whoever that 13 guy was, yeah.
And then, yeah, so it's like, that's my guess. Obviously, if we had like an all 22 version of that play, we could probably see it a little bit better. But that's sort of the glimpse that I got off of that replay there, where it's like the safety bit in hard for the run to stop it there. And then, yeah, that just obviously let it wide open on the backside. The defensive back didn't realize it's like, oh, yeah, so.
And it's funny because I get asked sometimes by, people don't watch as many sports or as much sports as I do, but they'll ask me, they'll be like, what's the real difference between college ball and pro ball?
Hey, Ted, what's the difference between college ball and pro ball?
I'll tell you, Mer, you will never see that play happen in the NFL. Unless
I think you might.
Oh, hold on. Unless your defense is like, I don't know, Raiders or Titans. Well, Titans actually have pretty solid defense. But unless your team is picking in the top 5 of next year's draft, your defense is probably not going to allow that to happen. That is a college football play right there. So it's interesting to kind of look at that and be like, okay, that's where you can tell who are the college player, like who is really good in college and who is really good in the pros. Because you're not telling me Philadelphia lets that trick play work against them.
Yeah, there are obviously a lot more defenses that are buttoned up, so it's like they won't allow a play like that. But yeah, you can't tell me that it won't happen in the NFL because there are definitely lapses in judgment.
I was being hyperbolic, but you know what I mean. Of if you do that, God, who had a bad defense this year? Like if you do that against the Saints, yeah, that's probably gonna work. But I don't know if you try that even against your fully healthy Niners defense, I don't even think that works against the Niners. Good luck getting that past Fred Warner.
It's true.
Or what's your new Mustafa?
Malik Mustafa.
Yep.
Malik. Malik. It's not Malik. It's Malik.
Give me. I'll give you DeForest Buckner back. DeForest Buckner, Anthony Richardson for Mustafa and a first rounder. Who says no?
Give us Anthony Richardson to back
up. Unloading a bad quarterback and a $100 million contract.
Hey, Anthony Richardson's not going to start for us. We got Brock Purdy, so I'm fine with that.
until you got to pay Purdy. You're only a year away from this, my friend.
We're paying him this offseason.
Oh, is it this offseason? I thought that was this offseason. Ooh.
I mean, he's still under contract this year, but yeah, they're gonna pay him this offseason. They don't want it to delay out, right?
Oh, because he doesn't have the 5th-year option because he wasn't a first-round pick. That's right.
Exactly.
Interesting. All right, so does Purdy sign for over $100 million? Not guaranteed. Not guaranteed.
Yeah.
Has anyone gone over $100 million guaranteed yet? I don't think we've gotten there yet. Was that? Oh, that's right.
I mean, obviously Deshaun Watson too, but yeah, Kirk Cousins got $100 million guaranteed contract as well.
Anyway, all right. So let's say under $70 million guaranteed for Brock Purdy. Yes or no?
Under.
So if he says it's, I need 85 or I'm leaving, you're saying walk? I would. If it makes you feel better, I would. I'm always a proponent of look, there's a certain threshold. If Joe Burrow is saying, give me this or I walk, I'm like, oh shit, yes. Okay, yeah. Whatever Joe, do you want me to clean your shoes while I'm at it? That is the level I'm at to get that guy on my team. Brock Purdy, I'm like, this is a fair market price. I'll be willing to meet you halfway. But if he's shooting above the moon, be like, I'm taking my chances.
I think it's tough because it's it's a little bit egregious to think that Brock Purdy or, any quarterback, it doesn't even matter whether you're Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes, whatever it is, to warrant $85 million per year. That's a little bit hard for me to swallow. Right. But you look at Brock Purdy and just you look at the Niners quarterback situation before him, it's just hard to then justify being like, well, okay, what's our other answer then if we're going to let Brock Purdy walk? And so that's the tough thing for me to swallow. So it's Brock Purdy's not the type of guy that's going to be wanting or warranting $85 million per. I think he's very reasonable in the sense that's he makes this offense better and he sort of fits in the system really well. And he's just a more humble guy too. So it's I don't think he's going to be asking for that type of money. But if he's asking for $60 million per, then it's the Niners need to give him that. That's sort of setting the mark as far as being one of the best players, best quarterbacks, highest paid at the position. That's I can understand that. That's sort of where the market is going. But yeah, for him to ask for that crazy of amount, it's it's tough. I'd probably have to let him walk then and find another solution.
Yeah, I'd probably top it at 70 mil. If I was, John Lynch and I was coming into, negotiations, I'd be like, all right, 60 mil a year. Obviously, he's going to say no to that. Come back. All right, 62. Hopefully he says yes to that. Maybe you're right. Maybe he's humble enough. Fuck it, yeah, I'll take the 62. Great. You're happy. I'm happy because I got away with a little bit of a discount. And ultimately, again, to get to point Z of you sell somewhere around 66, 67, something like that. A little bit of compromise. But my worry is just that, I hope you're right with the whole humble thing. I don't know. It's tough when those dollars start getting thrown to you. I don't know if you saw this.
It's true.
Going to a different sport, but if I'm saying his name right, Antera, how do you say his name? Sandy Alcantara, the Orioles guy that went to the Blue Jays.
The Orioles guy that went to the Blue Jays?
Yes.
Oh, Anthony Santander. Okay, yes. Now I know what you're talking about.
Oh my God.
Because you're confusing it with Sandy Alcantara. And I was like, he's a pitcher with the Marlins. Is he still a Marlin? Is that what you're talking about? So I was like, that's why I was confused. Because I was you're confusing two different players. So I was Alcantara never played for the Orioles. He's with the Marlins. But then I was wait. And then I was okay. Then he's out of the Blue Jays.
What is it? So, yeah. It's Cantera?
Anthony Santander.
Oh, Santander.
I was what is going on? I don't understand at all.
The point being is, I'm not sure if you saw this report, but yeah, he signed with the Orioles for, I don't know, there's 3 years, but the amount was definitely $94 million or not Orioles, excuse me. He signed with the Blue Jays for that amount. And a report came out yesterday or 2 days ago that Kansas City threw him about 70 mil.
I saw that. Yeah.
Here's the interesting thing, at least in my opinion. Now it's a little different because Blue Jays have been making some interesting moves this offseason. I still think Kansas City is a better winning team right now than the Blue Jays are. So it's me. My entire point being is these players.
Tad with another sack. He's making a name for himself as being the defensive MVP of this game.
Yeah, no, I think he just upended Landon Jackson.
Yep.
Oh, that was a good play. Also, who was the other defensive? Oh, you're who's the small town guy? Not the sugar bear, the bear.
God, Lord.
That's probably the best
Walker.
part of this.
David Walker.
David Walker. That was actually a really bad play for him. Because if you go back, if you go back and watch that replay, at one point he's literally like this, bull rushing. That is
Oladipo on that. He beat the offensive lineman, then he beat the chip block by the running back as well. And he still got to Jalen Milroe.
God, I mean, you know what? Even coming off this most recent play, I'm going to give him the stamp. You ready? It's only the second time of the season so far. That boy's got some finacity.
I think so.
He's got some finacity. I'm liking him.
Really solid. He's been looking really solid. No lie there, for sure.
Yeah, Milroe. Big loser. Like I said, coming in, hey, prove to me you should be a first rounder. I have not seen
Yeah,
anything.
I have not seen it at all.
Not a single play that makes me like, you're my franchise.
There was one scramble that he had earlier in the game, but it's like I already know that he could do that. I already know he could do that. Like I said, I need to see him more as a quarterback, and I haven't seen all those skills yet.
But even then, like, and we brought this up before, even the scrambling plays are less impressive to me because guess what? You're going against 4, so there's just a natural intuition of like what lanes are probably going to be open. When at the NFL, I mean, this is what Brian Flores does so well. You see 8 guys against the line, and you're like, it's like a casino. I'm like playing roulette. I'm like, yep, red 32. I think he's gonna blitz. Like, I don't know. By the way, how did Flores not get a head coaching job? God damn.
Well, I actually talked about this on one of our podcast episodes, the one that you weren't there.
Which explains why I didn't hear it.
That's why, yeah. But yeah, the interesting thing with Flores is like he had a successful season, but you have to remember that he still has a lawsuit ongoing with the NFL because of race discrimination.
You think that? I didn't think that would play such a role anymore.
I didn't think so either, and I sort of talked about that as well, where it's like, if you find success, that sort of puts a band-aid on. I made the example of the reference of like the meme, the flex tape meme, where it's like, oh, here's the glaring hole, the bucket or whatever, all the water's gushing out, and the tape is like, find success in the NFL. That's gonna overlook a lot of things there. So it's like, yeah, it's a possibility. Some teams, lots of teams interview him for a head coaching position, but just like, yeah, I just wonder if that sort of like lingered,
In a weird way, I hope that's it, because eventually that's going to get, settled. Let's be real. The NFL is going to just toss money at him and just be like, let's be done with this. He's probably going to accept, which he should. I mean, like, I'm not saying my high horse be like, screw you, $500 million offer. Like, no, you put that in front of okay, morals aside. But that's good, because the thing I don't want to see happen to Flores is what I now call the Bieniemy situation, where clearly you're a very smart football mind. You're just kind of a dick and no one likes you. So like, I really hope that doesn't happen to Flores, because I mean, watching the Vikings and this will be interesting with, and we will definitely have this discussion not next week, because we're just going to be doing draft stuff next week, maybe 2 weeks from now. Where do we rank Sam Darnold? I think my rankings ultimately, when it comes to free agency, are going to be lower than most, because I think that Vikings defense really carried that team this season. And I don't think
as well. I brought that up as well. That's like, everything sort of went right for Minnesota, like including the defense. I think that sort of alleviated a lot of the pressure for Sam Darnold. But then it's like, you look at those last 2 games, in critical games, and when
the defense falls apart, allows more than 20 points a game, all of a sudden, like, they go and pay, like, oh my God, it's like, oh, this is the Minnesota where I predicted their coach would be gone by week 8. And let me tell you, if we flip the sides of the season, he would be gone by week.
And then on the same vein, it's just like, this is the Sam Darnold that we were used to seeing, right? Where it's like, but the team on his shoulders, unfortunately, it's like, exactly. Seeing ghosts, exactly. Oh, gosh. All right, guys. So we're down to the final 5 minutes of the game here. We're back on the national side. Taylor Elgarsma is running the offense once again. Now, Tad, I do want to play one more game.
No. Hold on. We got 2 more games. Thanks. I have been teasing this all day.
Okay.
We need to get to this game. You ready?
Okay.
All right. So it's actually a question you've been asking me, and you've been answering yourself, is who do you think will be awarded MVP of Senior Bowl?
Of the Senior Bowl?
Yes. So I'll give you one last chance. I think you and I both agree on the answer, but I'll go ahead and give you your very quick answer, because this is not the game.
So I can't remember whether Senior Bowl does offensive and defensive, or whether they just do one
MVP. It's one MVP. One MVP. Both sides of the ball are eligible.
Yeah, for me, it's Oladipo then.
Yeah, 100%. Okay.
I think he's made the most plays. He's made the most moves for sure. But if you had to pick one from each side, I'd probably say the offensive MVP, I'd probably say would be. That's tougher.
Great. You think about why I explain the game.
Okay.
So here's how this is going to work. I'm going to ask you if you know that year's Senior Bowl MVP. Now,
Lord.
I know, right? That's like asking to find a needle in a haystack. That's not fair, right? So I will give you the year and where they went to college.
Okay. All right. That hopefully should make it easier. We'll see, though.
I think you're going to like this first example, okay? Now, do you have your offensive MVP before we start? And
Honestly,
there is
I'd
one
probably
correct
have to
answer.
say Jack Besh. I think
Attaboy.
he's
Good
probably
job.
made the most
Yes.
plays on
Well
offense.
trained.
You know, I'd probably say maybe a backup, like a MVP, co-MVP sort of situation. El Garisma is actually probably the only quarterback that's played pretty well during this entire game here, as far as all the quarterbacks are concerned. So he might be another guy that I pick. But yeah, offense overall has been very average at best. Outside of like, you know, the trick plays, that's like awesome, but it's just like the running backs themselves didn't find a lot of running lanes either as like pure running backs. So it's like they had to deal with the trick plays, right? So it's like, but yeah, 100% Oladipo has made a fantastic name for himself in this game.
Picking Jack Besh. I've trained you so well. You just done so well. I will say, I mean, more of a low-key offensive winner, in my opinion, is Ollie Gordon. Not so much as like he helped his case, more than like he just made enough plays today where I'm looking at him and like I know what I'm getting. If the Colts draft, and please God, Colts don't do this because we have so many other needs. But if the Colts draft Ollie Gordon, I'm like, all right, I know what I'm getting there. So like that's a very comfortable pick, assuming it's made at the same at the correct valuation.
Right.
All right. So Amir, starting in 2024, this South Carolina prospect was named MVP of the 2024 Senior Bowl MVP. Senior Bowl, sorry. It was named the Senior Bowl MVP. How do you make hosting look so easy?
How do you make it look so hard?
I don't know. It's so bad. Anyway, guy, South Carolina 2024 Senior Bowl MVP. Who do you think it was?
2024 out of South Carolina. Was it Spencer Rattler?
It was Spencer Rattler.
Yeah.
See, there you go. All right. 2023, you should remember this one. The MVP was out of Fresno State.
Fresno State.
Wow. You really sent for this guy that year. I remember that.
Oh, was it Jake Haener?
It was Jake Haener.
Nice. I was a fan of Jake Haener.
I think that might be the first time in my life I've ever used simp correctly. I'll be very impressed if you know this one. And actually, you know what? We'll go back a couple. 2022 out of Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
And I'll give you well, you know what? I'll be very nice because I'll give you a hint. It's not a quarterback.
It's not a quarterback.
It's not a quarterback. And if I'm not mistaken, I think he's still in the NFL. Because I remember hearing about him. Nope, he is a UFL player.
Oh, jeez.
He does have half a sack in the NFL.
Half a sack? Oh,
half
Lord.
A sack.
Oh, my God.
You're not going to get it. Perion Winfrey.
Yeah, never would have guessed that at all.
All right, these next 1, 2, we'll stop at 3. 3 are all quarterbacks. Ready?
Okay.
2021 out of A&M.
Texas A&M. Is that Kellen Mond?
It is Kellen Mond. Very good.
Yeah.
2020 out of Oregon.
Justin Herbert, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
right?
that one was a gimme.
Yeah.
I still remember that game. He looked fantastic.
He did. He did. Definitely up to stock in that game for sure.
I mean, you want to talk about up in stock. 2019 out of Duke.
Is that Daniel Jones? Oh my Lord.
2019 is when the end began for Giant fans. You guys have been putting up with Daniel Jones for 5 years. Oh, you poor bastards.
I will say though,
that sounds
in his rookie year, Daniel Jones actually looked pretty good. I think just unfortunately they just put too much on him. The protection was terrible there. He didn't have a lot of weapons a lot of the time either. Like, I mean, now he finally had Malik Neighbors, but now it's like where they cast him off or whatever. So it's like there was promise, but just, yeah, they ran him into the ground. That was the biggest problem.
Well, and the thing is, like, yeah, I mean, and this is actually neat for the Colts is, you know, if they sign Daniel Jones to back up Anthony Richardson, I'm actually pretty okay with that. Because, yeah, no, I'm not saying he's like an all-out bad quarterback I don't want on my team, but yeah, in terms of carrying a franchise, he's not that dude. Now, granted, you are 100% correct. They did him no favors, but it's just
definitely did it.
It's funny. I mean, going back to my rant before of like why the Senior Bowl matters, no one considered Jones a first rounder, and the Senior Bowl is really where that hype started building up. And yeah, and again, that's why it blew my mind. That was a Senior Bowl 5 years ago affected one of the most powerful franchises in the sport. For
it's
5
years ago, but yeah, 6 years ago.
Oh God, that's gotta be miserable.
Yeah, that's
Hey,
a rough one.
it's okay.
That's
You're
a rough
gonna
one.
get Shador Sanders. You're fine. Or Travis Hunter. Either way, you're gonna like just when Colorado's pro day comes around, just make sure you call in sick that day. Am I wrong?
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, whoever the Giants draft is gonna be out of Colorado.
I can see that very much happening for sure. All right, Ted. So I wanted to do one more game with you. It's same game.
Sorry. Okay. Oh,
The
shit,
same game, but I wasn't going to do Laurier because that's just completely unfair. But Dylan Gabriel obviously went to a couple different schools, so I wanted to give you a chance with this
Jesus.
one. So
all right.
let's see how many you could do from the University of Oklahoma.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna say Oklahoma, UCF, and Oregon all at once. I was like, oh my god.
No. I just do Oklahoma. Unless you want to do UCF and you want to have a little bit
No,
more
I can
fun.
do Oklahoma. Honestly, how many did I get with Alabama? I may be able to beat that.
Alabama, you got 16. So I'm curious to see whether you can
you gotta remember, I
it.
grew up as a Missouri fan. So I'm used to the Missouri-Oklahoma Big 12 rivalry when, before the landscape absolutely melted. And then I went to TCU, where then we were Big 12 rivals with Oklahoma. So, yeah, actually so I got 18 Alabama players?
16.
I may be able to get to 18 with Oklahoma. This is going to be interesting.
So you think you could beat the 16 mark?
Maybe. I'm not saying I will, but I'm saying there's a possibility.
You're saying there's a possibility. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you're saying there's a chance. Okay.
Sure.
All right, Ted, when you're ready.
All right. Mark Andrews.
Wait, okay.
Oh, Jesus.
Ready?
Yes.
Set. Go.
Mark Andrews, Sam Bradford, Landry Jones, Jalen Hurts, Hollywood Brown, DeMarco Murray, Samaje Brown, P. Ryan. Sorry, Samaje P. Ryan, Kenneth Murray, Travis Hunter. Was that the guy's name? I think that not Travis. Oh, not the musician Travis Hunter. Shut up. Oh shit. It was Blake Bell. Blake Bell went to Oklahoma. I already said DeMarco Murray. Shit. Oh, Adrian Peterson. Duh. Oh, damn it. Who was it? Come on. Think, Ted. Think. Shit.
Time's up.
I was thinking of the Acho brothers for some reason, but that was Texas.
As Texas, yeah. You got 10.
Damn.
You got 10 on that one. I may have missed it because I was too concerned with the time and then keeping track. But did you say CeeDee Lamb?
Oh, that's bad.
Yeah, that's a big miss there. Bad. That's a big miss. Also, some bigger names you missed. Ramondre Stevenson went to Oklahoma.
See, I knew there was a like Kurt Day OU guy I was forgetting.
Let's see some other Marvin Mims, and not really necessarily a big name, but Marvin Mims out of Oklahoma, drafted by the Denver Broncos. Joe Mixon went to Oklahoma.
Mixon might have been who I was thinking of. Oh, and before you say him, Jermaine Gresham, should have gotten him.
Yeah, there's one. I had high hopes for this guy. It did not pan out the NFL level. Dorial Green Beckham. You remember him?
All right, no, that's cheating. He had one season at Oklahoma. He played for most of his career at Mizzou. And fun fact, the reason he got kicked out of Mizzou is because they kept finding him smoking in the parking lot of the practice facility.
That's true.
In his car. He was hotboxing his car, and that's why they booted his ass to Oklahoma, where he only played like one game with the Sooners before he went to the draft.
But here's a throwback receiver that made a good name for himself in the NFL, D.D. Westbrook.
Ooh, that is actually a good one. That's okay.
D.D. Westbrook.
Barry Switzer. That's the joke I was trying to make. Damn it.
Kenny Stills.
Yeah. I mean, if you would given me like a half hour, I would have gotten there.
Well, yeah, of course. Did you say DeMarco Murray?
Yes, I did.
Okay, yeah.
Because did you know he's actually right now their running backs coach there?
Yes, that one I did know.
Because I was watching an OU game like 2 years ago. I was like, is that DeMarco Murray? I was like, hold on. Oh, look, my boy just got another catch.
But yeah, fun thing about this game is, we learned that Memphis is Kicker University. Like, that was surprising.
That was crazy.
All those names.
You honest to God, you could have been like, wow, do you know who else went there? I would be like, who? And you could have told me Vinatieri, and for a second there, I would have believed you.
That was a pretty impressive string of kickers that went to Memphis, and they're still in the NFL right now. Like, that was crazy. That was
man. All right, so as we're closing out, let's just look at these other topics we have and just go kind of quick fire. No, that one's not fun. We've covered best worst. Okay. So I threw this into the company Slack this morning of I got a wonderful reminder from Facebook today that 15 years ago, I said Jarrett Brown equals beast. I shared it to the company Slack, and Amir texted me going, who is Jarrett Brown? And it turns out Jarrett Brown is a quarterback that his 49ers signed out of the draft, and he
undrafted,
didn't even remember them. So that made me think. Amir,
signed and released,
looking back, I mean, could be with our time together as hosts or, just even before that. Who was a guy that you were either most this guy's going to suck and he ended up being good, or this guy's going to rock and he ended up being terrible?
So jury's still out. Jury's still out on this one because I'm still holding out hope.
I mean, I say that.
You know which direction I'm going in this one.
I say that for my pick, and sure.
But Javonte Williams, running back for the University of North Carolina.
Actually, you know what? That's fair. No,
I have such high hopes for this guy. I was like, this guy is going to be the next thing at the NFL. Unfortunately, just the Broncos, for some reason, just don't know how to use him. Sean Payton just hates him for some reason. He is going to be a free agent this year, so I have hope that he goes somewhere else and somebody will use him as a lead back because he's still young. He's only 24, so he's still got a lot of tread on the tires because, like I said, Denver was not using him properly. So it's like I think there's a lot of potential for him to still mark out a good career in the NFL and be a good back in the NFL. But just, he's a guy that's just like, Ted, I was singing his praises the entire draft process the year that he was drafted. I was like, this is a guy. This is the dude. And just, I haven't seen it just yet.
No, I think that's a fair one. I think that's a cheating answer because I think you're right that the jury is still out. And it was funny. I made a face while you were talking because I was like, okay, no, you're right. I did not know he was a free agent this offseason. So I was thinking who could he go to? And I was like, if he goes to the Chargers, that would be awesome. But the Chargers don't really need him.
If you want me to give you one, that
hold on. Because I do want to hear it. But how about this for a fix? God, this is exactly how they get away with this shit. Is the Aaron Paul he can't keep doing this? I can definitely see Javonte Williams signing a 1-year, $2.5 million deal with the Kansas City Chiefs.
Ooh.
Tell me you cannot just see that happen and just be like, God damn it.
I can see it happening as a backup because, Kareem Hunt, only signed a 1-year deal.
Backup with Kansas City.
They have Isaiah Pacheco already as their lead back, and he's probably, it could happen. Stay within the division.
And you get the revenge factor against Denver, too. Because, I completely agree. Denver's never given him a fair shake.
Yeah.
But, okay, who's a guy that you thought would be terrible but ended up being good?
No, so I want to give you an actual bust that, as a Niners fan, this is a guy that, I saw, and he's a Stanford guy, too. So it's I was watching a lot of tape of him. They're showing him on the news quite a bit during the whole draft process. And we brought his name up already earlier when we were going through all the drafts. But Solomon Thomas at number 3 overall. I expected so much more from him. I remember watching him in the bowl game during the Sun Bowl when they played against North Carolina, if I remember correctly, and he tore it up during that game too. So I was like, this is going to be a really big difference maker. That I saw the Niners drafted him, but just it never materialized in San Francisco. And then he went to the Jets. It didn't really materialize there either, but just, he's a guy that just I had a lot more promise for, and it never realized.
Oh, wow. I swear to God, this is true. So a minute ago, I just got a Bleacher Report alert. Former Chiefs offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy joining the Chicago Bears as running backs coach.
Okay.
So he's a dick, but he's back in the NFL, baby.
He's back in the NFL. And former running back, so maybe you could find that niche there with the Bears under Ben Johnson there.
Dude, if I'm a Bears fan, I'm doing the Looney Tunes thing off the wall right now. Everything they've done so far. I know it's very early on in the offseason, but everything they have done has just been chef's kiss of everything I would want. All right, but going to my answers of who should I go first? Guy I thought would be terrible that was good, or guy that I thought would be good that was terrible?
I think good and then terrible.
Good, then terrible. That's easy. Kyle Trask.
Kyle.
And that's why I was laughing with you. Being
You
like,
were
jury's still
banging the
out
table for Kyle Trask. I remember that.
I could say that the jury is technically still out on Trask.
No, it's done.
That
It's
ship
over. It's the
has
Vince
so
Carter
fucking
done.
yeah.
We're over. It's not happening.
Oh my
That's
God,
exactly
you
what it is with
just-
Kyle Trask. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I really thought he was gonna be something. I really thought that was the second round steal, but yeah, wow. And look, I could have said Kenny Pickett, but like at least Pickett's like, I think Pickett's gonna bounce around as a solid backup for quite a while.
Could happen. Yeah.
Which is, by the way, what I said in that year's draft before everyone. All I said, the whole like origin of the Kenny Pickett thing, by the way, is simply I understand him going in the first round. It was not he's going to be amazing. It's not he's the next big thing. It was simply me going, the Steelers taking him at 19 or whatever the hell it was is not that bad of a pick. And if you really look back at the value for quarterback at 19, it's really not that bad. Anyway, Point being, you'll actually love this because, well, actually there are two, both coming out of this year's draft class that I thought were just like, I was like, these guys are nothing. And one guy I thought was trash. One was Bucky Irving.
Yeah.
I swear to God, like I'm not a conspiracy guy, but like I think there's a conspiracy of like body snatchers. Because like it's not that I'm like, if I saw this at Oregon, like of course I would have said you would have been like.
No, I remember watching his tape too, and I wasn't high on him either. I did not hate him probably as much as you did. I think you were a lot more down on him than I was. But just like, yeah, for him to find the success he did, that was very surprising. That was very surprising.
Man, again with
did not expect
the value of coaching and the value of scheming. But no, the one you really like, you want to talk about a guy I was tough on, and I don't think I've had a player shut me up this bad, this immediately. Because he shut me up, I think by like week 4 or 5 is when you texted me. And that is, if I'm getting his name right, Dominic Pooney.
Yeah.
Holy shit. You want to explain his story? Because good God.
Starter in week 1, starter the entire season. He's a Pro Bowl alternate. Like, yeah.
Yeah, Pro Bowl alternate. I believe he was first team all rookie.
Yeah, makes sense.
I think honestly, I could be wrong here. I think he was like second or third all pro. And that was when I was like,
I think that's a stretch. I don't think it was that good.
He made some team or something where I was like, oh, I really missed the boat on that one. Because he was correct me if I'm thinking of the wrong player, but he was a tackle guard hybrid coming out of Kansas.
Yes.
I just ran it made no sense to me.
You roasted him. Yeah, it was
even like remotely
absolutely
draftable.
flamed him.
And again with the body snatcher thing, like I can't explain it. I'm like I'm not this bad at the job. It's just like, but goes to show you what a crapshoot did Besh just get?
Tad. Yeah, I think Jack Besh maybe like if they do the offensive and defensive MVP, Jack Besh with this touchdown now to give American the lead in the final seconds. Actually, the game's over. The game is over. American wins on the last second touchdown here to Jack Besh from Seth Hennigan. So it's like, yeah, this might have secured him a possible offensive MVP. Well, stick around until they do the post-game celebration to see who they give the award to. But yeah, he had a good game. Like we talked about, there's a couple times where the quarterbacks just threw it up there. He was able to secure it. He bailed out the quarterback a couple of times there. And then, yeah, to be open for this game-winning touchdown, it's like, yeah, there's a lot to like with this guy. I definitely have to dive into more tape, which I think you'll be happy about Jack Besh, but it's like, yeah, he had a very solid game when it matters.
Just to prove that I'm not being totally biased, because I will admit, like I said, like he was without a doubt my favorite frog of the year. Sorry, Josh Hoover, it's you next year. But also Josh Hoover, watch out for him because interesting draft name over the next 2 years. But anyway, point being is, God, this guy hurts to say. His tape at LSU is much more impressive than because he's an LSU transfer to TCU. His LSU tape is better. They utilize him because they utilize him as a slot receiver compared to TCU, who use him more as a tight end. However, I think that has actually helped build his skill set. But bottom line being is, before this, my best hope for Besh was like, God, go in round 3. If he has a solid combine and if he interviews well, it would not shock me to see Besh as a second rounder at this point.
Wow. Okay. That's pretty high praise.
I'm telling you. Look out for it.
Oh my
He's
gosh.
gonna
All
be
right.
a
So yeah, we're
chief.
come
Ooh,
to
if he was
the
a
end
chief
of the
with
game
Jeremiah
here. We're going to
Ryan?
stick around just a little bit longer just so we can confirm who the offensive MVP or just the MVP of the Senior Bowl is. It seems like based on the list that you're giving me, they only give the one award. So yeah, I'm curious to see whether it's going to be Besh or Oladejo or it's going to be somebody else. But yeah, I think, like I said, with that
gotta be
touchdown at
Besh.
the end, Besh
It's
sort
like,
of
yeah,
secured
it's like, well, did San Antonio? Yeah, I think it's like when San Antonio Holmes won the Super Bowl MVP against the Cardinals. It was like he had 2 catches. It was like, yeah, but one of them was like catch.
memorable one, the sideline one, and it's all that stuff.
It's also, and this is a very hyper geographic specific example, but it's like when David Freese won World Series MVP. It was like he batted like 220 for the World Series.
Then after that World Series win,
like
he went into nothing.
He was not.
The guy is like not
existent
now.
He just had 2 of the luckiest hits of all time.
Exactly.
So
we'll see you tomorrow night, but it's like, after that year, David Freese, we have never seen you again.
Trust me, I'm well aware because the Cardinals kept him around just as like obligation for 5 years after we should have.
That's purely what it was. It's like, oh yeah, you wanted a series, so you can stick around for us a little while longer. But yeah, dear Lord, the guy went faded into nothingness after that series.
To this day, that is the only Cardinal to Dodger move that has not upset me. When the Dodgers signed him, I'm like, you can have him.
No joke.
I'm sick of him driving through our fences.
We're coming to the end of the Senior Bowl here. There's only 2 more topics that I want to really quickly talk about before we close it out. Like I said, as we wait to hear about who won the MVP award here. But first one, you and me both, big gamers. We love that the college football game is back, and we'll get a 2026 version of the game coming up in the summer here. Don't have any confirmed release dates here, but same question that I asked last year. What do you think will grace the cover of the game? So if you look at some of the names, so it seems like they go with a guy that's still in college, so it's not a guy that's going to be in the draft this year. So you won't see a Shadur Sanders like we did last year. You won't see like, Cam Ward, anything like that. So they still have to be playing in college football in order to grace the cover, obviously there. So just a couple names that I had as far as like potential options. I'd love to hear your thoughts on them as well as just any other options you have. Quinn Ewers going into the draft, you have to look at Arch Manning. I think that's probably an easy one there.
That is the answer. It's going to be.
It's Arch, a very possible chance there. Couple outside chances, especially like if they go with like a group option, like they did with the past cover where they had Donovan Edwards, Quinn Ewers, and Travis Hunter, were on the cover this past year. So if they do something like that, then we could see some of these other guys on here. John Mateer. He's transferring from Washington State. He's going to Oklahoma, so he could possibly put a big name on himself. But he had a very good year during his time at Washington State. So it's like he put up good numbers. Now going to a bigger program in Oklahoma, this could possibly up his draft stock as we get there. But it's like I could see him possibly as like a dark horse to possibly grace the cover there.
Yeah,
and then you have to look at the 2.
Well, hold on real quick. He was the number 1 recruit, by the way, of all positions, not just quarterback, but in the transfer portal, absolute number 1.
And then you have to look at the 2 young receivers from the big programs at Ohio State and Alabama. Ryan Williams from Alabama, he had a sensational, I think, freshman year, right? Or is it a sophomore year for Ryan Williams?
Believe sophomore.
Okay, but I know this guy was a freshman because they talked about it the whole time, especially when they won the title. But Jeremiah Smith, the wide receiver from Ohio State, he had a sensational freshman year. So he's got a good chance to grace the cover, especially like I said, they do like a group cover sort of thing. And just to confirm, Tab, before I get your answers, but Jack Besh is your Senior Bowl MVP.
Let's go.
From the TCU Horned Frogs.
Woo!
You just wear it flipped around the entire rest of the broadcast here and there.
Man, I need more TCU stuff around here.
You do, but
I try to make sure my area is clean when I live stream.
So what do you think about the cover athlete? Do you think it's is Arch Manning just a shoe-in, or do you think there's any other dark horse candidates that you like?
I think especially because they went multiple athletes this year, they're going to do the same, but it's only going to 2 this time. And I think it's going to be kind of like one half's going to be white, one half's going to be orange, and it's going to be Jeremiah Smith running one way and Arch Manning like running the other. And I think it's going to be those 2 because they're 2 of the most easily marketable guys. And it's funny. I'll try not to go too long of a rant about this, but it's funny while you were having this discussion. It made me realize that the dichotomy or the contradiction in a lot of people's thoughts of like NIL is ruining college sports. Well, what's wrong with college sports now? Well, it's all about the players. Really? Because you asked me what player right now do I associate with Oklahoma? I don't have one. So if I'm an Oklahoma fan, I'm truly at this point cheering for the brand, not the player. So it's just an interesting contradiction there of like, it's just a player now. It's like, if anything, it's just strengthened your brand loyalty more than player loyalty. But just anyway. But yes, for that reason, because there are just so many names going back and forth. Because if you would have asked me, who's going to be on the cover at this time last year, I would have said Miller Moss.
It's possible.
And like, do you know where he's at now?
I don't.
He's at
Where
Louisville.
did he transfer to?
Louisville.
Oh, yeah. I remember you talked about this. Yeah.
So, like, point being is, you got to go with your two most marketable guys that you know are going to be on those teams come this time.
What about like a guy like Carson Beck?
I thought about saying Beck, but again, I feel like if you just slap Beck with a Miami jersey on there, everyone's going to be like, who the fuck is this guy? 15 on Miami? Like, if you put Beck in a Georgia
But I feel like he got enough notoriety at Georgia, so it's like even now going to another big program in Miami, so it's like maybe there's that take it over for Cam Ward, right? So it's like, no, you don't think so? Okay.
No. That's the problem with like basketball stars versus football stars. Basketball stars, you can recognize very easily.
That's
right?
True.
Because you're that guy. Football stars, you switch those, colors. And a lot of times you can walk in a shop and people are going to be like, oh, some 6'7" dude. Hey, Barkevius, how are you doing? Like, it's just
Barkevius, Mingo.
Good old Barkevius Mingo.
All right, Tad, I know we're going to dedicate an episode to it this coming, like probably both episodes, maybe a little bit too, but I want to talk a little quickly about the Super Bowl, which is happening next weekend. Really quick early thoughts, just do you have a prediction? Do you have any X factors? I mean, just really quick, what do you think about it next weekend?
I don't know if you ever saw that movie, but do you ever watch I think it was the 2004 Alien vs. Predator movie?
I don't think I saw that one.
Okay. You know the general premise?
Alien fights Predator?
Yeah. No, it's very self-explanatory. No, you're absolutely right. Do you remember the tagline for that movie?
I don't.
Okay, it's actually a great tagline. It's whoever wins, we lose. And that's exactly my feeling right now, because I feel like it's just like the goddamn Predator with the Chiefs over here, with the Alien over here with the Eagles, and they're just fighting at each other. I'm just the stupid-ass human underneath them with the acid blood dropping on me, like, guess this is what I got. Like, I guess I'm cheering for the Alien, because it's kind of cooler. So I guess go Eagles. Fuck Eagle fans. Like, I don't know. So I think, though, I will say that because the last I looked, they're Vegas still doing the bullshit. It's like they're both like favorites to win it right now. So the true underdog has not come out, but
yeah,
my guess is it's probably going to be Philly. We'll probably be like a 1.5 underdog. I like Philly for the upset, if that's the case. Or I like Philly to win.
Philly for the upset. I think they prevent the three-peat.
I think they prevent the three-peat. I think Philly's going to do it.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure which direction I'm going to go. I totally agree with you. A lot of America, I'm seeing a lot of memes on social media about
Philly, take it easy.
You got the the circle around Kansas City where it's like Chiefs fans, the graph of who Chiefs who are rooting for the Chiefs, who are rooting for the Eagles. You got those two small circles and the rest of it, the United States is gray. And then I see different reactions. I think one of my favorites is just here for Kendrick Lamar, because I'm very excited about the halftime show with Kendrick Lamar. So it's that should be fun. Yeah, so it is very much a situation where it's just I don't know if there's a true winner. I'm pulling for any particular team. Me as a Niners fan, I'm pulling for the Eagles because I've lost to the Chiefs twice in the Super Bowl now. And so it's I want them to not have the three either. So it's just
I get that. It's always because I've always
a little bit of that personal vendetta.
Yeah, well, I think we've had this discussion on the podcast before of if a team knocks you out of the playoffs, do you want that team to win the championship so you can say we lost the champions, or do you want that team to lose so you can be like, yes, good? And I forget your answer, but mine's always been oh no, I want that team to get their tees kicked in the next time around. So no, I'm right there with your motivation makes much more sense. I just want good food, and honestly, that Fantastic Four trailer better be fucking good. And I swear to God, if it's one of those bullshit things where it's 10 seconds of the trailer, it goes, go on YouTube to find out. Do you realize how loud it is at Super Bowl parties? Marvel, I literally had to go into the bathroom to watch the Deadpool trailer last year. Do not make me do that again.
Yeah, we'll see exactly what happens there.
I get it. It's about $100 million cheaper because you saved on 30 seconds, but just show the whole goddamn thing.
But yeah, so I'm pulling for the Eagles. Like we talked about, we're gonna go further into this. We're gonna do our annual Super Bowl bets episode as well.
Damn
Tad
right we
dives
are.
heavy into that, so that will be
Oh,
coming.
who's the national anthem singer? I should look
Coming
that up.
into that this coming week here. But yeah, we'll definitely dive into a little bit more about the Senior Bowl stuff and some draft stuff this coming week as well, guys. So yeah, we appreciate everybody that tuned in to our live stream today. Appreciate all the questions and comments that we had in the YouTube and all our social media handles to interact with us. Yeah, it was a fun live stream. Game was pretty exciting. We got that last second touchdown to get the win there. Jack Besh is your offensive MVP, your MVP, excuse me, for the Senior Bowl. So you got that. Pretty exciting there. But yeah, make sure you tune in to our podcast, subscribe or listen to your podcast, subscribe to our YouTube channel so you're always up to date with that as well. And please, guys, we did this live stream with LAFB Network. We appreciate them giving us this ability to do this. So make sure you're supporting everything that they do, when it comes to coverage, when it comes for the college football landscape. We've got the Bruins and the Trojans covered. We talked about Al Rowe, but we also got a lot of great coverage for the UCLA Bruins as well as the USC Trojans. And of course, we're in the offseason for both the Chargers and the Rams at the professional level. So they're giving you a lot of great content as far as, who do they think the target as far as the draft is concerned and free agency and all that stuff. So you're getting a lot of great content from a lot of great content producers about all 4 LA football teams. But Tad, we're no longer doing just NFL stuff. So I mean, it's like, yeah, if you're a fan of the MLB, if you're a fan of NBA, we got your Clippers and Lakers coverage as we approach the All-Star break in just 2 weeks. And of course, in about a month and a half, we'll have MLB baseball starting up just so we'll got your Angels and your Dodgers coverage as well. So they got you covered with all LA sports. Like I said, pretty sure, no doubt, we'll get some LA Kings hockey coverage pretty soon as well. But yeah, LAFB is your source for all your LA sports knowledge for sure. They got you covered on all fronts there. Like I said, lots of great content coming from a lot of great content producers. But yeah, we appreciate everybody who tuned into the live stream. Make sure you subscribe to our podcast so you're always up to date with everything that's happening with us. Like I said, doing our Super Bowl preview later this week, as well as continuing coverage for the draft. So we'll dive into, rankings and, play GM for a couple of teams. We'll do some mock drafts, of course. Just lots of different things for the entire draft process to lead you all the way up to the draft at the end of April. And so, yeah, we appreciate everybody who tuned in for the live stream.
And don't forget, guys, if there were prospects that did play today that we didn't talk about. I mean, again, like I brought up Xavier Restrepo, he did nothing today. So if you want, updates on any of those guys, drop us a message on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, anywhere where you can find us. We do respond to those messages. We do look at them almost daily, and we will always respond to them. Or even better, if you have a good idea for a prospect or a segment idea we should do on the show, we are more than welcome, especially in the spring and summer. That is our time where we'll try just about anything. So be sure to check that out. Drop your suggestions. And yeah, be sure to check out the other great shows on the LFB Network, including LA Confidential, hosted by good friend Chauncey Talese, and the Salute to Troy podcast, hosted by Amir's good friend and my colleague, Al Rowe.
And Woody Mark supporter, Alfred Rowe.
So with that new vendetta developed today, I can basically guarantee you both of us will be making appearances on both shows throughout. So if you want to keep a steady flow of what exactly is going on, because let me tell you, that's going to turn into a thing. Then yeah, you got to check out both of them, but they also talk great stuff with USC. Like I said, who does USC put their identity into now? Because Lincoln Riley, the faith is shaken there. There's no USC player really there that's the star. So Al Rowe probably has a great discussion on that coming up. So be sure to check out all the great shows on LAFB Network. And also, last thing, national anthem singer. I'm not sure if I'm doing this right. This may be dangerous. John Batiste.
Yeah, John Batiste. Yep.
Who is that?
He does the Late Night with Stephen Colbert. He's his band leader.
Oh, that's an under. That's an easy under. That man is used to hitting okay. All right. See, that's interesting. So if you want the full analysis on that, like Amir said, we are going to be coming at you with our Super Bowl betting episode. It's going to be real short, nothing too long, promise. But it is my favorite episode to do all year, minus the draft live stream. But as always, everyone, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. And please stay safe, everyone.